Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP Reviews Edition. I am one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are three of my bestest best friends. I'm gonna start with the guy to my immediate left, the man with the pig headset, the man that tries to make us call him things that he should not be called, CHUBAX.
Hello, guys. It's Papa.
Right immediately below me, the handsome man himself, Raymond, aka RJ.
Hello, everyone. Cheers to all your good health.
We have a
Yes.
bonus fourth chair on this episode, a massive fan of one
This
of our
guy.
movies that are going to be reviewed, the other daddy himself, Arnie.
Hello there.
All right. This week, special treat. I know that theaters are still slowly opening in different parts of the world. So some of the movies that are out in certain areas might not be out in other countries as well. But um, I am very, very envious that two of my brothers in this show was able to watch Spider-Man No Way Home together, number one, for the first time. Also, first time in the cinema. So although I've seen the movie a few months ago, they haven't seen it. They just saw it today, fresh off of a private screening for themselves and their families. I'm very, very excited. So we are going to tackle that as our main topic. But before that, we're also going to tackle Turning Red, the latest Pixar drop in Disney Plus. So stay tuned, join the conversation. This is again the reviews show of Plus 63 HP. If you want to watch this show, video on demand, just type in youtube.com/plus 63 HP. On Wednesdays, we drop our very, very first D&D campaign. And on Thursdays, we have another show where we curate clips, featurettes, short videos and content of things that we are hyped about or we want to be hyped about, and tell you guys what we think about it. So we have three shows every week. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and that notification bell so you know when those videos are dropping on our YouTube channel. But if you don't want to see our faces, you can also listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon. Just search Plus 63 HP and we will be there. You could also follow our shenanigans on socials. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The handle is at Plus 63 HP. Why should you follow our socials, our YouTube channel, and our podcast? Because we are still on our 2,000 plus subscriber giveaway mode. So one lucky commenter will might be able to get $63 in digital currency. All you have to do is comment in any of our videos below. Next week, we'll randomly pick one comment from the ones that we get from our most recent videos, and that person might win $63 in their in US dollar and their local currency equivalent. We also still have the CHUBAX challenge. We're not going to give you the instructions again. You have to listen to the previous videos to know how to get another extra $25 in digital currency straight into your digital pocket. So Venmo, PayPal,
Gcash.
Zelle, Cash App, whatever. We'll send it the
But-
easiest way possible. So,
But
make
you know
sure
what,
to
guys,
visit
though? With the CHUBAX challenge, though, maybe they know the mechanics, but they just can't bear
Again.
to do it.
that.
Can you enlighten
I
me? Sorry, I
I'm
think I missed that
100%
Chubax. Sorry.
aligned with that. I'm 100% aligned with that. But
We'll tell
hey,
you off the air.
those
It's
are
something
our-
probably demeaning. And
Yeah,
you
my cousin
so
Frank already commented that
gut-wrenching.
he wants to be part of the 63, but he passes on the Chuma.
Okay.
Good job, Frank. But that is our housekeeping for this week. Just make sure to follow us. We always like building this community of like-minded individuals to enjoy content with their friends and family. Before we start with the movies that we are going to be reviewing this week, if you want to join our discussion next week, write down your assignment right now. Our A block movie of the week next week will be this Korean movie that came out on Netflix.
Epic.
Amazing giant Korean stars there. Very, very fun movie. The Pirates, the Last Royal Treasure. So it's on Netflix. Queue it up. It's only 2 hours. It's a fun ride. Join our discussion next week. Our main movie of the week, again, I'm extremely jealous yet again because like my brothers get to watch movies together. I've seen this a couple of weeks ago and I've been chomping at the bit to discuss it with my bros. But next week, once Raymond here and CHUBAX get to see it in the theater, we are going to discuss The Batman, aka
Batman.
Vengeance.
The Batman.
So that will be next week. So without further ado, we are going to start discussing first, warming our brains up to tell you what we think about this new Pixar drop. We're going to start with our A block movie, Turning Red. So Turning Red dropped March 1st on Disney Plus. So it's a Pixar movie straight to Disney Plus. The director is Domi Shi. This is a fun little fact from the director. She has been in Pixar for quite a bit. So she has worked as a story artist in Inside Out, Incredibles 2, Toy Story, right? She's part of the senior creative team in terms of the Pixar movies that they built. So she worked on Soul, Luca, Onward. She's also working as part of the senior creative team in the upcoming Lightyear movie. So she's been around the block. But her actual claim to fame was she was the director, writer, and story artist for an Academy Award winning short an animated short, which is Bow, that came out 2018. So that is an amazing short. We won't spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't, it's on Disney Plus. Please watch it. It's super cool. Also watch Float, because the main actor in Float is or the main characters in Float are Filipinos. But Bow was such a big hit that Pixar said and Disney said, you know what? Here you go. Make your own movie. Have fun. So a lot of creative control. So, a lot of the things in the movie kind of reflects how she grew up. But it's directed by Domi Shi, screenplay by Juliet Cho and Domi Shi. Of course, Domi Shi was a part of the story. Cinematography by Mayar Abusedi and Jonathan Pitko. And the budget for this movie is quite big. It's $175 million for this 2-hour or 100-minute movie. And that's kind of the case because, animation takes a lot of time and a lot of people. So it's not necessarily like, the quality really is how much money you put in is equivalent to the quality of the visual that comes out. And, the visuals here is super stellar. As of this recording, it has only reached a 4 million box office, but again, it came out on Disney Plus. So, a lot of the revenue will be from streaming and subscription. So it's not a fair indicator of how good this movie is. So that is some stats of Turning Red. Let's turn it over to our handsome boy to my immediate left, Raymond, for a quick synopsis of Turning Red while we drop our thoughts in between. Take it away, Jay.
All right. So great. Turning Red is actually an hour and 40 minutes. This is a movie about a 13-year-old girl named Mei Mei. Mei Mei was voiced by Rosalie Chiang. She's, stereotypical rather, Chinese Canadian based in Toronto. Pretty much like my ex-wife. Anyway,
let's not go into that deep fucking.
Oh my goodness. Hey, yo.
Well, this is a deep dive. So, May is a straight A student who plays an instrument and helps her family manage their business. In this case, their business is one of the oldest temples in Toronto. So it's something to do about their ancestors and red pandas.
Red
Helping
panda,
them.
it's the cutest.
Cute, amazing looking, but probably very vicious real animals in real life. But we'll see. She also has a diverse group of female friends who each have their own very unique personality. So she has a Korean friend that seems to be quite buff and in Tagalog we call her maton, more
Maton.
like a strong, big boned and very
Resback.
rough person. She'd probably kick many asses. Um, she also has an Indian who seems to be quite stoic or unique as well.
Chill.
Emotionless, very chill.
Very
And
chill.
one Canadian, one Canadian Caucasian. Usually around this age, 13, 14.
What's
That's
the
when
name
they
of the
start to
Korean?
know.
Abby, I
It
think.
escapes me.
Abby, right?
Hind Park, Abbey Park.
Abby.
Abbey Park. Yes, that's right. So, which is great, because once again, this film shows diversity in many ways.
Representation
Um,
matters.
Representation, absolutely. So it's not just the Chinese Canadian community. You got Korean, Indians, and Caucasians. And at this very sensitive age, 13, 14, a lot of things happen. A lot of changes happen. They start to notice boys. So they start to swoon over this crush over an upperclassman who looks after their Daisy Mart. But she tries to swat it away. She tries to swat it away by saying, "No, real men should look like Four Town.
Fourth
Four
town.
Town, Four Town for them is a boy band group, and then obviously with unrealistic proportions, good looking, chiseled bodies, and all that, right? So that's their ideal man, which probably many girls had experienced as well growing up. Now, she doesn't really notice the 17-year-old boy,
Wait.
but yeah.
Before that, anybody kind of at the start, I was a little underwhelmed with the art style.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm opposite.
You like no, it's not. It's not like I didn't think it was cute and amazing, but
Mhm.
sometimes there were scenes where, like the details, like it was
Mm.
like it looked like a Saturday morning cartoon
I
with the
We've been spoiled.
with the background detail, like
Yeah, we've been spoiled with the arcane and
No.
other
I'm
No, and you have to
totally
look at it. Pixar.
Pix-
Copied
and-
it.
and even by Pixar, we've
Yeah,
been
but
spoiled by them. So
I know that's why I'm saying it's not like the detailed art because it's still it's very very detailed. It's very amazing,
it's
but
I
it's
think
the art style like
I think
a lot
your
of bland like
your critique is about the design choice or the
yeah, that's why
character
the art
design
style.
rather than
Yeah,
the
it's
art.
like
okay.
But for me,
it's not the
in
tech.
preparation for this review, because I know CHUBAX, you kept on mentioning like Encanto. You and your kids love
Oh
Encanto. So
yeah.
I saw Encanto yesterday, and I saw 2 days ago in preparation for this because I haven't seen a Pixar movie in
No,
years. I think the last Pixar movie that I've sat through straight was Up, and then after Up, I was just really traumatized. It's
Mhm.
like I'm supposed to be having fun here. Supposed to be fun. Why
Why
am
am
I
I
crying the
crying?
first 5 minutes of the fucking movie? So, but I haven't actually seen the progression of the animation. But I like the design because Encanto was a little bit more Disney looking, like a little bit
Mhm.
more Disney princess, a little bit more realistic. And this one was, it's literally a cartoon. Like
Yeah, so
it's a
I think
3D cartoon
that's
rather
what
than like,
that's what
mm,
pulled me out at the start. Yeah, that's why I'm not saying
Mm.
it wasn't technologically amazing because it is, but it's just that the art style was the shift in art style was a little much for me from for the start.
yeah.
But okay, go.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like her style with Bao as well, like a little bit more
Yeah.
like rounded, chubby, big eyes. It's literally like anime. Like when somebody draws it on their,
Mhm.
when we draw stuff when we were kids, it's just 3D 5. But again, that's true. It's like acquired taste. Like you love Encanto, and I know we're
Mhm.
not reviewing Encanto today. I did not enjoy my time watching.
Oh, we loved it.
It's too many
Uh,
words. Like Lin Manuel has too many words. The thing is, I can't remember a single song from
Oh
Encanto.
my
you
god,
don't
that's all we've been
remember
doing.
about
We're just
Bruno.
listening. Yeah.
Singing and playing it in the
The
background.
So good.
Bruno is the last one that I remember, like because it's funny, right? But there's so many words in the song. So when I was watching it, it's like if I were 6 or 7, I would be like, "Whoa, slow down! I don't understand you." But
No,
um,
dude, trust me. The 6 and 7-year-olds are singing it.
exactly. So
Yeah,
I
old,
couldn't
Jong. Yeah,
follow.
old.
I'm old, but then this one, when I was watching Turning Red, I kind of like had that's my flip, like
Mhm.
my opposite one's like this is the Pixar that I am familiar with, where it's you know
Okay.
yeah, it's fun, it's layered,
Well, I don't think Encanto was
funny.
Pixar. Encanto is
Is it?
Disney. Encanto
Oh,
is Disney.
animated film.
Yeah, Disney.
DreamWorks,
It's
DreamWorks,
Disney.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Oh, Encanto?
I think it's Disney. It's just Disney.
Was
Disney. I
it?
saw it
It's
at Disney
Disney,
Plus.
Yeah, it's
It's Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Disney
yeah.
then.
but
Straight Disney.
it's not Pixar Encanto.
Yeah, Pixar is also Disney, but it's their own
Yeah, but they have their
style.
own.
Yes.
Okay. Continue, Jay.
No worries. But then since we're in that topic as well, I like how they may be describing it in a very stereotypical manner, but this is real. I mean, I've I've lived and I've married Chinese Canadians, and this is pretty much accurate.
Mhm.
The expectations, I like the first few minutes of it because it's I'm like thinking, man, that's how my daughter's growing up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ricey, if you're
Mm.
listening to this is probably you. Um,
Mhm.
so high expectation. So I love how they started it because she was able to give context to what's going to happen in the movie within the first few minutes,
Mhm.
which makes a lot of sense. So they didn't have to waste so much time in a backstory, how she grew up, how the ancestors. They just did that very theatrical intro, which made you understand, okay, so this is the setting. All right.
Mhm.
So eventually she starts to do her homework and she starts drawing, doodling on the side of her notebook. She realizes it actually looks like that boy from the Daisy Mart. Starts to
She got
draw.
the feels.
She started to feel it. She tried to deny it. What's
Boy
going
crush.
on? Then she started to draw sexy pictures of them.
Wait, what?
In many different, yeah, she started to draw sexy pictures of them in many different hugging positions, kissing positions, him in a as a merman.
That was
So
so
she
funny.
started to fantasize about him. And then she hid it because her mom started to knock on her door. She dropped her notebook and pretends to act cool. And she goes, don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. And then she just
And
one
then
quickly, her eyes just drop very quickly. Mom goes, oh, it goes, picks up her notebook and starts looking. And lo and behold, the shock of her mom's life. And she starts to feel obviously embarrassed because,
the mom
Chinese
played by
culture.
the amazing Sandra Oh.
Sandra,
Sandra
oh
Oh,
yeah, Sandra, oh.
she's
Ming,
she's dope in this movie. I fucking love her.
she's actually awesome. And she's like my ex-mother-in-law. But anyway, so oh god.
Really dropping everything in here.
Like that. Anyway.
Glad I
Um,
joined in.
so she takes Mei, 13-year-old Mei, drives her straight to the Daisy Mart, confronts the 17-year-old boy, and tells her, "What have you done to?" Confronts in public and says, "Like, what have you done to my little Mei, my darling Mei? Do not touch her. Do not do anything with her." And then, worse, she pulls out all the drawings and puts it on the desk for everyone.
This is so cringy in like in a good way. Like this is something a mom would do, especially like that kind of mom, and it was so.
Mhm. Tiger Mom. I mean,
Oh my
It's a
god,
tiger mom, very controlling, yes.
so
But it's
embarrassing.
something that would actually happen. No joke. They wouldn't
Yeah.
care if they made a scene. They will not care what their daughter or son would feel. that's just
No, because they think that the
what
daughter and the son is perfect, so it's the other guy's fault. So like,
it's always. Yeah. But it's so hard. And you'll see throughout the movie, it's so hard to maintain that perfect image. You have to be straight A, you have to be diligent, you have to play an instrument, you'll need to be a UN Secretary General in the future. I mean, these are not the dreams that a child would have for themselves. It is a dream that your Chinese parents would impose on your children. And as great as it is, giving them direction, obviously, um, it may hamper or cause a little rift within the child and parent relationship. As their whole life, they'll just spend trying to please their parents, realizing in the end that they've actually lived their lives for their parents and not for themselves. But going back to the movie, and no more Hugot from now on, she becomes extremely embarrassed. Okay, and they go home. She tries to just let go of her frustrations, but then so she decides, let me just sleep. So she sleeps. She has this nightmare. Some red eyes come up. Red moon comes up, and she wakes up. Poof! A giant red panda
Panda.
starts, but she doesn't realize that yet because she's called for breakfast. And guess what's for breakfast? Congee, egg. No, but
That's
I
the
like
best.
congee.
No, that's the
Don't get
best.
me wrong. Yeah,
That's
but that's
the
also
best.
very pretty typical breakfast I used to have also when I was in Macau. But anyway, so
Who got
and it
goes
keeps
super
on
sleepy.
coming.
She goes straight to the bathroom, washes her face, smells herself, smells like an animal, looks at the mirror, and freaks out. Parents panic. What's going on? She asks her mom, "Don't come in." She's a monster and what all that. But her mom just realizes, so it happened. What usually happens when a girl turns 13? Well, they start to become a woman.
The Red River Day.
They turn
Yeah.
red, turning red.
So they
Something
thought,
something that we none of these people in this panel have any
Experience.
experience with. Has no business providing opinions on.
exactly. So, well, that's true. That's true. So yes, that's a good point, Chewy. Could also be turning red. Could mean um, the flow of menses, right? But it also means turning red means when you're embarrassed, you turn red. You turn,
Or when you
Yeah.
become angry.
Oh
you get
man, so
angry.
many layers. I didn't even
So
know
many
that.
layers. That's why it's
love
great.
it.
So good.
So she tries to, she hides inside the shower. Her mom just comes in, gives, the entire kit. So typical, the kit with the pain relievers, the hot water pack, and of course the napkins. So she eventually gets to calm down and transform herself back into a human, and she decides to hide her hair because although she turned into a human, her hair and her eyebrows still kept the red panda color. So she goes to school, tries to avoid getting excited, even becomes cold to her friends. But even though there was this one boy, Tyler, who actually saw the entire thing happen, start in the Daisy Marts, we started putting posters to tease
Fucking Tyler.
Mei Mei even more. I know, right?
You know who he reminded me of? Flash
Who?
from Spider-Man.
Oh
From
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Wait, I want to see who Tyler Winbig or Tristan Alexian. Okay, I
You
I don't know him
guys.
from anything.
You guys, yeah. So she starts to get angry, and then parts of her become she gets pandified on certain parts, so she starts to panic. She tries to calm herself down, not get angry, rushes to the classroom. Obviously, her friends feel that there's something wrong, but she doesn't know how to say it. Eventually, they notice that, is that your mom? Looking outside, mom suspiciously looking after her daughter, but it's not because she's just controlling, but I feel that she's also extremely protective of her daughter.
Like
It's
anything
how
not in moderation. Like again, I need to see a parent that loving to their kid, but of course, if it's overdone, it's not only creepy and embarrassing. I love that little bit with the
Security.
Sikh guard
Yeah.
and no, the guard and the
Yeah.
mom as well. Like, man, you're not
Going
supposed to be
thing.
in here. It's like, it's a mess. I love it.
Maybe it's because you forgot your napkin, which totally obviously
Yeah.
embarrasses her, and she just poof, becomes the red. Runs out, causes some form of havoc in the city, and runs back home crying. And obviously, her mom gets to catch up. Catch up. Even her dad kind of realizes something's wrong. She says, come home because it happened. Something happened again. Something else happened. So they get home, they find a red panda crying, and she realizes, wait a minute, you guys knew about this? And that's where she learned about the history of her ancestors in that temple. So she starts to get angry, tries to scratch off the painting. So they reveal to her the scroll, which tells what's happening, and not to worry because that happened to all the daughters in their family, and they just need to undergo a ritual, and store the red panda in a certain
But also a good
artifact.
detail. So the thing with Pixar movies is that every minute is extremely layered and packed. So even
Mm.
the red panda spirit that was called upon by Sun Yi,
Sunyi,
right?
yes.
During that time, the people needed a protector. So they welcomed being able to transform into a giant red panda to protect them against evildoers and bandits. So, in a way, in my very puny vein, it's like, religion
Mhm.
or faith or any institutionalized thing has its place, its use, its roots are to the core good, but if it doesn't things, it kind of falls out of favor. So that's what
Mm.
happened there. So, transforming into a monstrous red panda nowadays when you're no longer in need to fight bandits might not be as useful as before. So
Mm-hmm.
hence the ritual has happened. So they would there's no transition part in terms of the use. So instead they just hid it, now affecting the next generation in different ways that the previous generations might not understand. So I this is where I realized, like, you're not smacking me in the head with this. I'm interpreting this my own way, but it really makes sense. It really is like a fair assessment of what this quote unquote blessing slash quote uh they're getting. So yeah, I love the explanation part. I just thought that, like, oh, we have werewolves essentially, but instead of werewolves they're pandas. But I like a nice little backstory to them too. It's also, it only happens with women in their families too. So
Mm.
that's another thing.
Just to add on to your point, Joe, you're right. The generation today is very much different. Maybe her mom or her grandmother's generation rather, um, they needed to hide it because it's not going to be accepted. But if you look at it in today's time, if someone could turn into a werewolf or a red panda or any animal, that's freaking
Also,
awesome.
Would be cool, which we'll
that,
discuss later
Dude,
in future
that
I
will
episodes of
that will
know.
like
viral on TikTok.
100%. You can make a lot of money. A lot of people, but that's the thing. It's like there's a generous that needs to happen, and I think that's why this, for me, that's why I love this movie. Like, comparatively with Encanto, it's just like
Mm.
it's a little bit more clear in terms of the lessons of, hey, like, there's so many layers you can do. Accept the monster inside of you as a part of yourself, or it's another thing where don't be afraid to be different,
Yeah.
because people will accept you for who you are. It's also like, oh man, I think the crew reminded me of our friendships. Like, they're friends.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally us. We'll be like supporting each other till the end, but also
with
for all the
all
cheap.
our own screw ups.
Yeah.
So, sounds like there's a bit of Hulk, like
Mhm.
being angry, emotional, and all that, and then a little bit of Naruto as well.
Yep.
With
Yeah, the
Nine-Tailed
transformation.
Fox.
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay, I'm into it. I'll watch.
Super.
You have
fun.
to, you have to, you have to. I think it's something that you and Jessica would enjoy.
It's also like
Um,
the symbolism of her as becoming a woman, having all those
Mhm.
new emotions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was her
Being able to
time,
control them.
her time to decide whether how much would she control it, would she let it out, would she continue this path with being like her mom, where she's perfect and everything's perfectly controlled, and anything that's not part of the plan, the cleaning, the studying, is immediately either removed or suppressed.
Mm.
So but this point is where she decides
Mhm.
that's true.
the decisions up.
Up to her,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, that's actually very important to raise also that the Chinese culture is one of the longest standing, very
Mhm.
traditional cultures that you will ever experience. I mean, practices of your ancestors are still being carried on to today, even though parts of it are modernized. Let's say feng shui, lucky days. You don't open a shop if it's a bad day. Um,
Mhm.
there was also mentioned here in the movie, which was a very nice touch. When the grandma, which I'll get to in a moment, no? When the name of the group that they like is Four Town, and four is a bad
Right.
number
It's
in
about
Chinese.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, because if you say it in Chinese like shi or say in Cantonese, or which is what they speak in Toronto more, it means death. So that's why they believe in unlucky numbers and luck, unlucky, and all that. Anyway, so all right, so she realizes that it's part of her family background, and they just don't worry, we can control this. Again, trying to control everything. We're gonna control this. Um, we just have to wait until the next red moon, and we'll do a ritual, and you'll be free. Okay, but what do I do? I can't show my friends. I can't let anyone know. This is people get scared. So she stays at the home. They empty her room because she's gonna be a monster and she might destroy stuff. So they just leave her a cushion, well, her bed and a pillow and her little stuffed toy. Right now, while she's there in her room, her friends super worried about them, like all of us here today will visit, and they realize that when they said that Four Town's coming to town, they see that she's actually a monster, so she tries to calm them down, tell them what happened. But instead of getting scared, what do her friends do? They
They love her
accept
even
her.
more.
They
They
love
loved
it.
her even
Abby
more.
was like,
You're so
"Oh,
cute.
you're so cute." And see, that's where it's different. Maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago,
The women,
if
people.
somebody, yeah, if somebody would turn into a big red panda, people be like, "Oh my goodness, what's happening?" Right?
Mhm.
But now, if you do it, it's like, "Oh, you're so cute, you're so fluffy."
Yep.
Um,
Make a
and then
TikTok.
Abby was so cute.
exactly, so they all like hug her, and then she poofs back into being herself, and she realizes that she's getting that calmness and that security that she doesn't really get from her family because she feels insecure all the time. Security from her friends. So she turns back into a human, and her hair just remains red, right? So they talk about the plan to watch the concert, but they need to find a way to earn money. She has starts to have a brilliant idea of how to make money, which is possibly by using her
Transformation.
fame, but
Photos and merch. That's
photos.
so today. It's like
It's
it's so cool.
I know they should have even started a YouTube channel. But anyway,
But that's also good. Like that's the other thing, the other layer here, that if I had kids and I was gonna have this movie, even the entrepreneurial spirit. Hey, you want something, work hard for it, because they didn't just like take photos, that they were very entrepreneurial, saying they booked a room, they made merch by themselves. It's like, well,
Correct.
these kids,
Yeah.
they really want to see Four Town. $200 for a ticket. Woof.
They earned
And
it.
that's not cheap, man. That's expensive for a 13-year-old, especially.
How much? It's expensive for me
$200 for me as well.
right now.
Yeah, but none of us could turn into pandas, right?
That's
But, so she tries, they come up with a plan. They come up with a plan to ask their parents to let them go. She has this PowerPoint and complete history of different music genres, and which was totally shut down by her mom. No, what kind of music is that? And what is that gyrating movement? That's not proper. Everything has to be, again, perfect, right? So so she gets rejected, and when she meets with her friends in school, they actually were all rejected. But before the presentation, isn't that where she showed also she went through the test?
Oh,
They did a
that
test if she
she
can,
can really
yeah.
control her
Yeah.
emotions.
She told her parents that she should be allowed to go back to school because she can control her emotions. So they did multiple tests. They tried to remind her of her second place in a contest, which started to anger her because she always had to be first place, right? And then they had to just try to get her emotional so she would transform. The last and final test was they placed the box. She was so worried what was in the box.
What's in the box?
Like,
Opening the box, she gets what? Different kittens
6
coming out.
kittens or
Cute
something.
kittens. Oh, so cute. But
It's so adorable.
they're so adorable. And because she was able to control, they were so surprised. Wow, at a young age, you get that, and you can even control it. So yeah, I guess should be fine. So she asked afterwards that, there's another teeny favor I need to ask. And she does that presentation, which obviously she gets rejected for because it's not what her mom would approve of. The movement, the gyrating, the boys, the way they look. So a lot of it was rejected. So she goes to back to school, meet with her friends, and realizes all of them get rejected. Plus the fact that $200 is a very steep price to pay for a ticket for that age as
13-year-old.
well. So they decide to make money on their own. So that's when Jong said pictorials with the red panda, merchandise, and they even get invited by the fucking Tyler. So they're talking about
for the
how
last
much,
couple of $100, just an
Yeah.
appearance at Tyler's house.
because there's 4 of them, they need $800, and they were $100 short. So they were pretty good, man, within a
Dude, that
short
was a-
span of time.
2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Woo!
They had to do 3
Yeah.
weeks.
That was actually pretty awesome. But all throughout, while they were doing those pictorials and all that, May was lying to her mom, May. She's saying, "Oh, we're doing mathletes.
Math.
We're doing this," but all she's really doing is planning with her friends and taking pictorials, making money, and she's they're trying to script for the last $100. Then you have Tyler coming in from below the bleachers saying, "I know your secret, and I haven't said anything about it. You know why? Because I need you to come to my birthday party. Because if you come, everyone will come, and it'll be a sick party." I think this Tyler guy also has his own insecurities. He teases people because no one really likes him. Yeah, which is kind of true, I suppose, right?
That's usually
Then-
the case.
And he needed the red panda or Meme to show up so that the people would accept him and think that he's cool. So she said, "I'll do it, but here's something that I like you guys to notice. As a Chinese, she didn't ask for $100. She asked for $200. so that they're
Over the top,
$100 more. Exactly. They're over the top. That's so typical. I love their entrepreneurial spirit. It's amazing. they, naturally we think, oh, we just need $100. Okay, I'll do it. You give me $100. No, she asked for two. And Tyler, I think being well off, he was sure,
Mhm.
no problem.
He
Be
is rich.
there. He's rich. He's rich. Right? Day of the party comes, friends arrive, but Mei Mei was nowhere to be seen. Why? Because her grandma saw on the news that there was this giant red panda causing some havoc in the city of Toronto. Decides to pull, the relatives, all the female relatives,
All the aunts.
the aunts, right,
Council of Thoughts.
to actually go over and help Mei Mei throughout this entire series. Notice that when mom actually called, the grandma called, the mom tried to avoid speaking.
She was also super scared of her mom.
Yep.
She's so afraid of her. Why is this, so familiar? Anyway, so,
Who got
because no, because it's so real. I mean, coming when Jong asked me to do this, and then I watched it, I was like, oh, I kind of figure why I should do this. So she there was this feeling that the mom was ashamed of her own, not ashamed, but ashamed to face her mom. So Mimi was on the way out, trying to go to mathletes, but then her aunts and her grandma come. They start feeding her. That's very typical. Grandma, oh, you lost weight. Oh, you gained weight. Oh, you're this. Oh, you look like your dad. Always a lot of criticism. Started feeding her, and she goes, you know what? I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed, and then she just sneaks out to go to the party. About an hour late, but she still arrives. But before she does go, her grandma visits her and tells her, the longer you stay or use or transform into a panda, the more difficult
Ritual is.
ritual kind of gets worried, right? So she goes to the party wearing her temple red panda
Mascot.
costume made out of cardboard bags. Yeah, mascot. And he goes, "What is this? This is not, this is not what I asked for." And then her friends goes, "What's happening?" She's, "Just trust me, I can't." But then her friend said, "That's fine. Then you don't have to. You know what? You don't have to. I'll just not go." No, don't go. I'll be the one that's not going. So everyone started saying, I'm the one who's not going to go. So she decided, you know what? For my friends, I'm going to do it. So she transforms, becomes the life of the party. Party becomes successful. They already start to daydream of how it is. But Tyler, being the dickwad that he is, demands that, you better come down here, you red panda, and we need more rides. I want to ride you. Sounds sick. Right? I want to ride you again. No, but because imagine, Arnie, you've got this huge panda that could probably have 4 people ride it, and it's like running around carrying, something like a massive mythical beast. Amazing. So that's what she did to make the party alive, right? But because Tyler, being a dickwad that he is, asked so demandingly, and insults her mom.
Oh, no.
Oh, do not
Tyler.
do that. That is death. So she gets angry. So you've got this angry red panda coming down on from the roof and pushing Tyler down, scratches him. Actually, I think he has a few injuries. It scares the shit out of this 13-year-old boy. So the parents, end the party, and I think the parents are also Indian, if I'm not mistaken. Like the dad looked Indian.
He
Not
didn't look
sure.
Caucasian.
But that's again another diversity. So ends the party, sends everyone home. The mom apologizes on behalf, and of course, the mom, instead of blaming her daughter, blames her friends. Because
that was
Yeah, and the mom
that hit
never
me. That
the
hit-
mom never really liked Miriam from the start.
yes, the
Miriam
Caucasian
especially.
actually.
Yeah,
She
Miriam
said something
especially.
like, yeah, Miriam especially.
bad influence. BI.
Yeah. So she blames her friends for for using her, abusing her kindness, and using Mei Mei to earn money, right? So how did the mom actually find out? Because the mom went to check on the daughter at night and notices that the window was open. So she goes forward, closes the window, and then she notices that instead of her daughter, it's a mound of stuffed toys. And she sees under the bed there was the plans, and if you notice, there were also some test results that were just 75. So under the bed, she saw all that,
Wasn't
everything. So
studying.
she was hiding, and she wasn't studying anymore. She was just busy making
Merch.
money.
Making
Yeah,
money.
making merch. Exactly.
Getting
So she
C
goes,
pluses instead of A pluses. Oh,
that's horrible, man. That's like sin. So she sees the poster, the invite of the party, so she heads on there. She apologizes to the family, blames the friend. But Mei Mei, what does she do? She's so afraid to disappoint her mom that she doesn't say anything. So
yeah.
the mom will
She threw
assume
the friends under the bus.
Yes,
No.
she did.
she absolutely did. So come the day of the red moon, she goes through with the ritual. Her friends go through watching the concert of Four Town because they had enough money anyway. They had money enough for three, right? They had $700, so that was enough for the three of them plus $100 for stuff, right? So they go undergo the ritual with the grandmother and the aunts and the dad, and they had this cool what do you call this guy? Like shaman, I would say, with the
With the
sword
sword.
that would help throughout the ritual.
He was
Right.
indeed a shaman. That was the audio description.
Right? Shaman, right? And he was explaining the ritual and saying, they just need to sing from the heart. But your grandmother is just so traditional.
Yeah, it's
I like Barry
another.
Manilow
It's
myself.
another layer too, because some of the traditional stuff, not really. They keep sticking to it because
Mhm.
they think it means something, but it's not really. The substance of it isn't what matters. They just want it because it's what they've been
Again, that's
doing, not because
another
it's
good
correct.
point. Like, doesn't as long as you sing from the heart, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but for them, no,
Yes.
it's this
That's
all
why
because
the
it's what you've
shaman
been
said, I
done.
like Barry Manilow myself. But
I
your
think it was
grandma
Tony
likes
Bennett
this.
actually. Was it Tony
Oh,
Bennett?
no.
Oh,
Oh, was it Tony Bennett? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
I thought it
remember
was Barry
Isabella
Manilow. Anyway,
saying,
Tony
"Oh, it
Bennett.
was Tony Bennett."
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
man. Feel
that,
old yet, buddy?
that needs to be fixed.
Oh, man. Sucks egg, man. Anyway, so goes through with the ritual. She sees the ancestors. Sorry, what's the ancestor's name again? I keep forgetting.
Sunyi.
Sunyi. So she sees her. She appears, fun, very very traditional. She goes into this dream world state, finds herself in a forest of bamboos. Uh, then sees a clearing, sees Sun Yu. Doesn't say a word. Opens a mirror. She sees herself, but not just herself, but herself with the black hair, while she's still the girl with the red hair. So she touches the mirror, realizes she goes through, but as she goes through, the red panda comes out. So she moves herself forward, but just when they're about to totally separate, she looks back and says, "Hey, I actually like this guy."
Fuck
So
this. She
she
said, "Fuck
doesn't go through
this."
with a complete separation. That she does actually. So she goes back, and then the ritual fails. She escapes and goes out, enjoys her newfound self acceptance. She's able to poof in and out as the red panda or herself. So you know what, Arnie's way of describing it, like Naruto, that's exactly what I thought when I was watching it. I was like, oh, this scene looks like Naruto, where she's running through the rooftops and then poof, becoming a panda, poof, becoming a
Dude,
human, poof.
the transformation gives her a little boost. So it's like, oh,
Exactly.
that's a
pretty
fun
cool.
power. I take that.
I would take that too any day, And then she goes to
It's
the
like
dome.
a energy all around her. So if she's on the ground, then she's gonna blast up a little bit.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, that's true. Like when she transformed in the classroom, right? It's like things got blown
Yeah.
blown
Pink
away.
explosions.
So that's
Hmm.
why whenever she falls, she transforms, and that will absorb her shock from falling.
That'll soften the blow. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, right? And then she enjoys it. She transforms where the concert's being held, and the concert kind of started pretty cool. You know, she poofs in, sees her friends, drops in, and her friends, of course, feeling a bit sad, like, oh, you threw us under the bus. I'm sorry. And then suddenly her Tamagotchi rings.
Oh my God. So this is where I didn't realize that this was set in 2002. So this
Oh.
was so like, oh, okay. So I did it. So that the good thing about this movie, it's super timeless. That when they
Mm.
realize, like, oh shit, oh, Tamagotchi is still a thing. It's like, okay. But yeah,
Oh,
it's like, I
But you
love
know what,
that.
Jong? Tamagotchi is a thing again. I think it
Until now,
started
yeah,
coming
it's
back
starting again.
And now it
about
is,
2
but
years
It's
ago,
coming
a year
back. Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
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 I think they tried
So
an app, and then now there's an actual Tamagotchi again. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there is. They're selling it, and a lot of I'm starting to see some kids
Yeah,
having it. I'm
hipsters.
like, I'm like, really, man,
Just like people buying vinyl records again. Like, oh my god, really?
Isabella.
That
Well,
is
vinyl is
true.
still.
Well,
Well,
vinyl's good.
yeah, vinyl.
It's
Vinyl never
classic,
really
man.
went away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's,
I-
that's
Isabella
but
got
way
people
back.
better
are,
quality.
but there's
It's
people
just
who are
expensive.
buying cassette tapes again or something because
Oh,
like,
yeah,
now
I
that they
did see that
discontinued
too.
it, it's like, are you kidding me?
That sucks.
Cassette tapes.
Well,
I hate cassette tape.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand cassette tapes, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a player anymore right now.
Yeah, I mean, vinyl
Even
at
my
least,
car doesn't do it.
because vinyl at least you could say, well, it's the mono, and
And there's a different sound
it'll
to it.
sound better in vinyl. Yeah,
It is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
high
Yes.
quality. But again, I don't even have a CD player. I don't even have a CD drive in my laptop.
My PC doesn't have a
That's right. Same
doesn't have a
here.
drive.
You're
I still have blank CDs, man. They're going to be coasters.
True enough.
But
well,
yeah, Tamagotchi.
I don't know. Do you still have your old CDs, Arnie? I don't know.
I still have some. They still work. I just don't have time to rip them and.
I know, right? Anyway, yeah. So she goes to the concert. She realized Tamagotchi was being kept alive by her friend. What's the name of the Caucasian again? Sorry,
Miriam.
Miriam.
Miriam, yeah.
And she
Yeah.
was super touched, because if you don't feed your Tamagotchi, it could die. You have to restart it again.
They die.
So I know, right? Then
he dies.
then they hug it out. They enjoy the start of the concert. Very typical guys coming down from the sky in cages, introducing each other. Start to sing the song. Wings come out.
4 town with 5 members.
4 towns.
Yeah,
fucking
4
hilarious.
town with 5 members.
I hope that they make a spin-off movie just about the 4
The
towns.
4 town.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's a
it's already
grand-
in the works. I'm sure it's already in the works, man.
The grandma actually said that, right? Why is it 4 town and there are 5
And there's-
members? And
yeah.
4 is such a bad number. So as Mimi escapes, right, her mom gets angry, and her mom's pendant, which kept her red panda, cracked. She gets so angry that it bursts open, and lo and behold, her own mom, Ming, transforms not just
Nope.
into any red panda, a
Godzilla.
humongous Godzilla, King Kong size red panda.
Literally
She was big.
Kaiju.
size.
Kaiju warnings.
Kaiju.
No, really, she's like building tall red panda. No. So she breaks open the sky dome, and looks for scares every concert goer away, including Four Town. Like, what the heck is happening? Is that part of the effects? Then they realize it's actually not. She sees Mei Mei. She goes in. and then even make some comments. Wear some clothes. What are you wearing? Do
Go
your parents
home.
even know what you're? Go home. Wow, you're a giant panda, and that's the thing that you're gonna say. That's very, very,
Very
very you.
typical.
That's very typical. Very typical. And then, of course, her family, her dad, and the shaman also come and try to help. She transforms into a tiny red panda to go against King Kong of her mom. Um, she uses her ability to transform in and out to try to stop her mom, while her dad tries to create that
Create a
Cool.
circle.
That's
giant
cool.
circle.
That's cool.
That's
Genius.
awesome. That's actually awesome. So that they can start the ritual. So they all start their chanting. But what happened actually? So they start their chanting, but
She knocked
she
her
knocked.
mom out.
Oh yeah, so
She
she
falls
transformed.
out. She
the
falls
circle.
outside of the circle.
So she tries to pull the giant mom back in, but since she couldn't do it by herself, guess who comes to aid her? You've got all the aunt squad, their grandmother,
Grandmama.
letting go of their
Breaking the seals of
Breaking
the
their
red
seals.
pandas to transform back to the red pandas. So
Yeah.
cool.
But none of
I do
them-
love the Power Ranger poses because you
Oh.
seal the red panda in different jewelry. So her
Mhm.
mom Ming's was like a pendant. Somebody had earrings. Somebody had a ring.
Ring.
Someone had
Grandma had a
ring.
bracelet. So that's so cool.
Yes. And they're all, very they're all heirlooms, either made of jade. So again, very Chinese, right? One was a hairpin. One was a
Yeah.
hairpin also. So, but again, still made of jade. So they all transform into red pandas, but none anywhere near the size of Mei Mei's mom, Ming. So they pull her in, but then they still need to sing from the heart. So her friends start to do the
Four town song.
beatboxing, Four Town song. Then the Four Town
actually a catchy
themselves start singing. It is. It is actually a catchy song. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that song. It's written by Phineas, Billie Eilish's.
Oh, okay. No wonder.
He's Robert.
Oh, awesome. Oh, Robert, the
French
dark
guy.
skinned,
Yeah.
yeah.
The French.
No one who
The
speaks
French
French.
guy. Because the funny thing is, they're all each one of her friends, like one person in that Four Town. They didn't, double up on a single person.
That's good. It's called
They all had
friendship.
I know, right? So the Four Town starts singing. It activates a circle, and everyone basically all of the red pandas, the red panda family, gets transformed back into this. Transferred into this dream state bamboo forest. Mei Mei finds a young version of
Oh,
her
her
mom
mom was
who's
hot.
crying, and her mom was hot.
Too. Like it's
All
way
right,
better
show
with
title.
red hair.
Show title. Yeah, her mom's hot.
But Mei Mei looks like her dad actually. So that's where she realizes that again it affirms that her mom was all she wanted was to please her mom, but she ended up hurting her. That's why she's so she couldn't face her. She tries to avoid her. She said that it's so hard that my mom has so high expectations. She sees me as a perfect girl. And Mei Mei goes, yeah, actually, I know,
I
how
know
that
what you're
feels.
talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Because that's what her mom eventually started doing to her kids. And as sad as it is, you know what, guys, as parents, we may not have liked how some parts of how we were brought up, some, not all, okay? But we find ourselves sometimes guilty of doing that to our kids as well.
Yeah. It's all about love.
It's about love. And at the end of the day, our parents, no matter how different they treat us, they do it with love in their heart.
They're just doing their best. There's no manual for being parents. So
When
think
you're
we're doing one thing.
when you're born, you don't have a manual that comes with you. Oh, this is the JONG manual. Please make sure that you do
Yep.
this to encourage him. There's
Don't
never
worry,
been
guys.
that way.
When I'm old, I'll send you the manual how to take care of me.
Step one, pull plug.
Step one,
Dude,
rub
that's
belly
dark.
18 times.
That's
Rub
dark.
belly 18
Didn't say
times.
which plug,
no
man.
more, no less.
That was dark.
San Junipero, man.
I know, right? So she, tells her that it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, trust me. And then they walk back. I like the transition that as they take steps and certain bamboo pillars are passed, her mom from the same age at 13 transforms into a teenager to an adult to her actual age. Then everyone they see Sun Yin again.
Sunny.
Sun Yi again. Then they go through one by one. The aunts go through one by one, letting go of their panda selves. Grandma goes through. Her mom goes through, and she says, am I, is she asks Sun Yu, okay, well, is what's gonna happen? Is this gonna be okay? Get this. They fly up into the sky.
Before
and I
that, the
guess she
mom
wakes
does the
up.
typical. The mom, in typical fashion,
Oh yeah.
she still stops and asks her, "Come with me. Don't do this." Still tries to change her mind, but she doesn't.
She
Change
tries,
Yeah.
She's still. The thing is, our parents think that they know always what's best for us, and it all comes from a good place, right? And then, but I like. There's this certain line that I like. I'm growing, but I'm not so sure if it's that. But I'm worried that it's gonna be far away from you.
Yeah.
And then the mom says something like,
The farther it is, the
the
better.
farther away.
Yeah. And the
That's-
prouder I am of you. So that's
Oh,
ha.
that's like, oh, the farther you are, the prouder I am.
There we go.
Oh, I want to hear that from my parents. Yeah, I'm sure they said it at one point. Anyway, and then she just adapts to life as it is that she is able to transform. She is a red panda, where
Wear
panda, in a sense, and obviously brings in a lot of tourism to her temple. They make money, and as you see, they use the same planning that she used for the concert.
to repay
How
for the
much
sky
more to
dome.
rebuild the sky?
Like $1 million.
Which was how much? 800. It was
I
only
think like $500,000 or something like
or
that.
something like that, right? $800, $800,000 or something. I don't know, $500,000. So, but they're not. They're getting there, slow but sure. And that's it. Saying how her life has been, how different it is. She's gonna go out with her friends, and her mom was saying something about, oh, she's gonna go karaoke with her friends, and then she transformed into part person, part red panda. She kept the ears
And
and
the
the tail.
That's so
And then the
cool.
mom goes, "You're not going out like that." And then she says something in defiance, but her mom didn't take offense to it.
Yeah.
And
Oh wait, we missed a very crucial part about their group.
oh sure, what did I
They have a new member.
Oh, Tyler. Tyler was
is
also
part of
found
the
to
crew
like.
now, which is like for me, it's like, oh, we don't see that often. We don't see the turn. And I do love again, because this is a very inclusive movie. This is
That's
also
right.
part of inclusivity. You were, some assholes just they can change, right? We have to understand both our friends and our enemies. And this was for me, when I saw that, I was like, I knew that they had common interest with Four Town,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't think that they'd bond that quickly and that close. And even like when they met in the concert and they just immediately loved Tyler for it. It's like they didn't like ridicule. It's like this is the lesson that I want hopefully people or like kids to look into. It's like, all right, even dicks can be part of your crew too. It's like, oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy with this. I saw Tyler and they were all happy.
That's right. That's right. Pretty cool though that you thought that it would be the end of him after the
The party.
broke up.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like that they brought him back. That's pretty cool. bullies just need to be understood. So yeah, and then it ends there. But I don't know if you guys got to watch after the credits. There was a scene. Yeah,
Was there a scene?
there was a scene. Very, very
Okay.
quick, like just cute. So Mei from upstairs goes, "Dad, have you seen my CD? The Four Town CD?" And then the camera pans down to the basement, and the dad's like dancing to the phone.
Oh,
Jin
and
is so
you
cute.
missed the new talismans for the moms and the grandma and
Oh,
the
Oh
aunts.
yeah. So the mom got
the
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 Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi,
Tamagotchi. Her grandma
the
Got
four
the
town.
four
sadly
town.
got a four-town keychain, which is number 4. This is not. I don't know what the others got though. I didn't get to see, but I just
But it's
remember
fun.
the grandma.
The shaman had to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
Oh, and I think I missed to say that one of the reasons that the mom was disappointed, the grandma was disappointed, Mei Mei's mom, was because Ming likes her dad, and they
Mm.
didn't approve
Yeah,
that before.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's the main thing.
That
Oh.
sucks, and somehow that's so familiar. Anyway,
Awesome.
tough.
Awesome movie. Let's
That's
let's close this discussion about Turning Red, doing it, in the interest of time. So Chubax, final thoughts about Turning Red, favorite moments, favorite scenes, things that took off, but also run us down your favorite character, your favorite moment, and your MVP for the movie.
So yeah, like I said, it started a little slow for me, or not slow, more like just not vibing with it at the start, but quickly won me over by maybe second, third, and I love the group dynamic is the best part for me. The four of them, everybody bringing something, especially Abby. I love Abby, so funny. And then
you're so
um,
cute.
she
Where are we going
reminds
to
me of
kill?
somebody. I can't remember who, but she reminds me of Despicable Me, the youngest kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's so
Oh
cute.
yeah.
So, I also love the running scene and the like the Naruto scene where she was transforming to jump higher and farther, and the ending was amazing. And I love how it was it's a love letter to puberty, to growing up, becoming a woman. Even though I can't relate because
Mhm.
I'm not a woman, but I can see my daughter, my wife, they really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot from it as well. So for me, my favorite character, oh, I'll go with the mom. She's just cringy and it's
Mm.
so fun. Also, favorite moment is the ending where everybody was helping get the mom inside the circle, and Fort Town was singing,
Mhm.
and the girls are singing also. And then favorite MVP, it's mailing, right? Is it mailing? Yeah,
May
mailing.
May, yeah,
May
Mailing,
May.
yeah.
Yeah, she was
Mei.
amazing.
That's
I'd rate it
awesome.
at an 8 for me, solid 8.
Ooh, solid name. I I love this movie. I enjoyed it through and through. I almost was late for my date because I couldn't. I was like, I'm gonna watch a little bit, and then I'll leave and I'll watch it when I come back. But no, it was just so good. It was so compelling. Again, I haven't seen the newer animated films, or I haven't seen animated movies like this in a very long time. So the detail with the lighting, the hair, the fur, the powder blowing, and the transitions from regular speed to slow mo, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
beauty of animation. It's like you can be very, very dynamic, and they used it very well in this movie. So I really enjoyed it. Love the again all of the relationships, mother daughter, parents daughter, even husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
the grandparents, the friends. Is just that small crew. There's always a soft spot for me for friends that support each other. And then it's not like the typical us against the world. It's just like we're We're
Day to
loving on
day.
each other. I love that. So this is one of it's a very fun experience with so many layers, and we've discussed this all throughout. Like just the layers of like there was even a moment when I was thinking about watching this is the symbolism of the red panda and why the mom was so hesitant of the person of like May keeping it because like this could be like I haven't read anything or haven't really thought about it too deeply, but like if for example nowadays I can akin it to a kid who let's say has some gender identity issues or some non-binary issues, right, that they the previous generation doesn't understand. They need proof that they can control it, right, that because like some these are big decisions in life that you have to prove that you know
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing to really control. So that was kind of like, oh, this is a good allegory for certain things like that. If you're a kid and you want to be non-binary, be trans, transition to a different gender, do. So you have to have prove it or show it or communicate it, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be uh for everybody. You'll hurt your friends, you hurt your family, but the idea is there. They're there because of love. And I realized like, wow, this is I'm gonna put this in my back pocket just in case in the future, and I really really loved it. So my favorite, of course, my favorite character is the red panda. I
Mm-hmm.
actually love red pandas. In the Prospect Park Zoo, there was a red panda that came into like a tour, a zoo tour, and it's kind of like a big raccoon
Yeah.
but red. It's so cute. I like if it were not illegal to own one, I would find a way to own one. It's gorgeous. Like I love the red panda. Um, my my favorite, my most favorite moment was when the friends finally knew and they weren't scared, and then they were
Oh,
just
so good.
loving her like when David it's like a tender moment. And then because it's the moment that she realized that thinking about her friends made her calm in any situation, good, bad. Friends are your warm blanket. So that was like my favorite moment. And MVP definitely is Jin. Like the dad
The
is
dad, low
very few
key.
lines, always there, low key in the background, supporting. So and he must be badass for Sandra Oh to fight her tiger mom for, right? So
That's true.
that's a thing. So like CHUBAX, this is going to get the highest of my eights. Like this is again in our rating, 8 is great. It's a great movie. Like you should watch it. I mean, excellent. Maybe right, it has some layers to go through. It didn't hit up levels like Pixar movie, but in the end, this is one of those things that if my nephews or my friends' kids wants to watch something animated, I won't hesitate to pop this on and watch it with them. Like I won't feel that it's like a waste of time. How about you, Jay? Close it out. What do you think about the movie and your favorite character, moment, and MVP?
All right. Um, I totally agree with what both my brothers said, Chubax and Jong. I like all that intricacies and the multiple layers that they have in, even from the very title itself, turning red. That could be embarrassment, anger. That could be the becoming a woman. I like the transformations, and you made a very good point of acceptance. It's really at the end how she decided to be her own being, her own panda, which could also be an allegory to accepting your gender choices or your life choices in general. This is who I am. I see myself as an artist. I don't want to be an engineer. It could be
Mm,
even that, right? So there's a lot of layers into it, and I love how they really used Chinese Canadian um, ancestry in a way, if you think of it, because they're both very traditional, especially in Toronto, huge Chinese town community there, and still being modern.
mhm.
I like how they're so traditional yet modern minded. So that was actually a very good mix, and they portrayed it well. So I won't add any more what you guys had mentioned, but very very good movie. I would recommend this for many parents. So have your kids watch it too. It's fun, and they would absolutely relate to it. My MVP would be the panda. That's true because Mei Mei asked the panda was pretty cool. She was very assertive. But special mention to Dad. Dad was awesome. He was
That was dope.
calm. Even though Dad was probably like the breadwinner, but they didn't really show it. But for most Chinese, it should be the guys, right? But he was the one who's totally not the boss of things. It's the very matriarchal arrangement in that family, which was also very familiar. So
True.
Dad deserves a plan, a special mention. I also give it my highest of eights. Very, very good movie, entertaining.
Cool.
So that's it for Red Panda. I mean,
Wait,
Arnie,
final
would it-
rating?
would-
I don't think we got your final rating.
oh, mine is 8. I'll also
Eight.
give it the highest of eights.
Okay, sorry. Cool.
It's definitely on the pipeline for me to watch. So it's just I'm glad that you guys liked it. So it's cool. Gonna watch it.
Better.
Now for our main topic
All
for
right.
this particular episode.
Okay,
We
we
spent
have-
a little bit of time with A Block, but time to discuss the I don't know if it's a good movie or not. Maybe it is, maybe, whatever,
It's an Avengers level event. Come on.
Yeah, I'd say, this little film that Sony and Marvel kind of did together. I don't know if you've
Tick, Tick,
heard about
Boom?
it, but it's
Is
Spider-Man
it
No Way
Tick
Home.
Tick Boom?
Uh, so a bit of stats. I know we've heard a lot about this movie with a budget of $200 million. So it's not it doesn't break the bank that much, but it's a hefty budget. A runtime of 148 minutes. So that's close to 3 hours. And by God, every single minute was fucking worth
It
it.
didn't feel like 3 hours, man.
So I don't think we've had as much fanfare as we would have had in this particular movie, but this has grossed over $1.8 billion, beating
Yeah.
Avatar as the most successful movie of history. So
And
this
that's
is kind of weird. It's
pandemic
like, I don't
numbers
know if
too.
they're waiting. 100% pandemic numbers. These are normalized numbers accounting for inflation, including the reprints or the 3D version of Avatar as well. So I don't know. I think I did not hear. I heard about it a little bit. I saw those interviews of Tom Holland saying like, "Wait, what? I think we're a ways off from being the most successful movie in history." Like, no, bro. Like, you just beat Avatar for the most, and he was like shocked himself. So yeah, but either way, director is John Watts, which I'm still baffled by, because I can list you his filmography. It's in 2014, he had Clown, which I don't know what movie is. 2015, he had Cop Car. And then he did Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. That is a
Wow.
giant leap for a person that is mostly known for, he
Hello?
experience. But
So,
yeah, so it's
you're-
just
go back.
coming back to John Watts, it's just very a very impressive that a lot of his experience is music videos, short film, claymation, and now he has successfully navigated the newest Spider-Man trilogy and is slated to direct the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. So it's very impressive. It's like very impressed with what he's done with such a thin a thin resume. The cinematographer is Mauro Fiore, and he was also he's known for working a lot with Anton Fuqua, so very visually pleasing, but not too signature style. So it's kind of like generic, but actually really good. So he did Equalizer, Southpaw, Magnificent Seven. He did Dark Phoenix. He did Infinite for Paramount Plus. So there's a lot of really good films with Mauro Fiore's resume, but most notably, he also did the cinematography with James Cameron for Avatar. And CHUBAX, I'll give you two guesses who scored this film, who is the music by.
Oh, I don't know who.
If you watch a lot of In Review from Kind of Funny, the main guy that they always talk about in terms of music,
Oh, uh,
it's Michael Giacchino.
Aquino.
He's everywhere. It's just him and John Williams. But yeah, those and we all know it's starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Is
Jacob.
there Jacob Batalon, John Favreau, and then a lot of special guests. Ali, with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Chubax to run us through. Oh wait, before we run through the synopsis, let's do like a quick round, 45 seconds. What do you got? Non-spoiler review. What did you guys think of the movie right after you've seen it? We'll start with you, Arnie, because I know you've been on deck for a bit. What do you think about Spider-Ray No Way Home, and why do you hate this movie?
Well, well,
Why do you
uh,
hate this movie?
well, so I saw this movie, not opening day, but sometime in December. So as you may all know, it's like middle of Omicron and all that. So I risked COVID to watch this movie, and let's just say even if I've gotten COVID, it's worth it as long as I survive. But yeah, basically, initial reaction. I mean, it's a good way to end the trilogy, and if it's the way to launch phase 4, it's a good stepping stone or stepping ground on the whatever multiverse. Then we'll see. Yeah, I like the movie, like 10 out of 10.
You, RJ, you and Chubax had a unique viewing experience.
We did. I liked it, but there were times that I questioned certain decisions.
Mm.
But overall, I still love the fact that it's a Marvel movie, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's something that you wouldn't go wrong watching.
Mm. Yeah.
It was entertaining, especially as well. I don't think it's a spoiler anymore as the multiverse was introduced.
And you, Chubax?
I loved it. It's my favorite one. I mean, I loved most of it, but it's my favorite Spider-Man film. I don't know how, well, we haven't been doing any rankings yet for MCU, but it's up there. But
It's up there with Winter Soldier. Yeah.
there are some issues though, like not
Oh yeah.
just small nitpickings here and there, but nothing that takes away from the movie. It's just
Hmm.
the writing, the cast, so good. And you?
I enjoy this movie immensely. Like everything about it was just right, not only for the times. Like again, I saw this Saturday of opening weekend. We saw it on IMAX, reclinable chairs and everything like that. Um Middle of the afternoon, so you're super duper awake. So everything is perfect. But I love the length. I felt that if it was a little bit short, you might have crunched too many storylines. I felt that if it's a little bit longer, it would have been tough on the body because you need to pee, right?
Mhm.
So it's perfect. It's like it's under 3 hours, but not 3 hours. Most of the decisions you can kind of suspend your belief a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's not perfect by any means. There's some holes, but the idea of it is it was an experience. Like if you sit down, you open your eyes. If you think very critically about any movie, you can find many
Mhm.
holes. But but in the end, if you're at home and you're sitting down and you're opening your eyes and you're just enjoying the experience, I think you feel the 2+ hours breeze by, right? So
Yeah,
the
like
action comedy.
I could say this like I said for Adam Project. This didn't have any
Mm.
fat. This didn't have any
Yeah,
fat. This
I
was
I think there was
I
this
just
is
watched
really
Adam
lean.
Project.
uh, it's not that it didn't have fat. It didn't. It's a very, very tight movie, like super lean. Every single moment needed to be there. There's for me, it's like there's certain decisions where like
Yes.
it's like
No.
what
Yes. Yes.
Arnie
Yes.
is,
That's what I
RJ is
said.
mentioned. It's like if you really thought about it, right? Yeah. Yeah. But it's again, you're right. Like every single minute was a joy. But so let's dive into every detail of the movie. We will interrupt Chubax as he runs through the synopsis whenever we feel like it. But take it away, brother.
So we start immediately hearing some flashback lines from part two, Far From Home, where Quentin Beck frames Peter Parker and reveals his
Jake Gyllenhaal.
identity by and his identity is revealed by Quentin Beck and through Jonah Jameson's podcast, and then everything turns for Peter, him and MJ, uh, and Ned and May are suddenly interrogated by the Department of Damage Control, and then we get our first cameo, which is Matt Murdock. He gets the charges dropped, but the group grapples with negative publicity. So from here, from what I understand here, is like they probably got the gist of what happened, right? And they so they just let the charges drop. But yeah, I mean, from looking at it from outside, you could definitely see why, even if Peter wasn't to blame, he still had some control over Edith, and he did give it to
First,
Quentin.
yeah.
Start Tech, yeah.
So there was still
First-
some. But so go, John.
No, like that's the first for me. Like I, the first 10 minutes of the movie, and you find out who Peter Parker is. 2, have a little cute scene with Zendaya. 3, amazing, realistic swinging from
I love the
campaign
swing.
to campaign, and then immediately just drop me fucking at the attorney.
Yes.
Like it's like within the first 10 minutes, I see fucking Matt Murdock.
Yahoo! Yeah.
I
Are you
know.
kidding me? It was the best. But that's the thing. When I was watching it, it was like this is the best Spider-Man period.
Let's go.
I thought about it, like what you mentioned. Those charges were dropped pretty quickly.
I know
Those were
they
his
breezed
drones.
through it.
Oh, and then those were given to him, and then you have to.
I
You have. But again, I also thought about it in the other way. You can't spend too much time on
yeah. Plus, I think
proving it.
maybe Nick Fury or somebody from the government or something probably said,
No, but that's the
Yeah.
thing too.
Apply pressure.
That's what they said. It's like, oh, Nick Fury was off world the entire time.
yeah.
It's like, so I was like, all right, so okay. It's
I
the
mean,
idea.
I mean, it's also
Or maybe he's a
probably
really
his-
good lawyer. Maybe he's a
and
really
his-
good lawyer.
And his Avengers
Of
rep.
course he is.
I'm sure some of his Avengers people could have
Yeah.
pulled some strings a little
No,
bit.
Yeah.
there's
you
going
know.
to be like surveillance, and that's what they said. Like they can prove that Mysterio must have done a lot of weird stuff
Mhm.
eventually.
Yeah, and I mean,
So
just
they kind of dropped the charges.
Quentin, if they researched Quentin Beck, they would have found out all the shit that he's been. Oh, not Quentin Beck.
Exactly.
Who's his original identity?
But that's why I also believe when
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where I also believe when Matt Murdock mentioned that, Happy, you need a really, really good lawyer because these drones are yours.
Yeah.
So it's like Stark tech. So it's the tech that was problematic in the first place. But
Correct.
again,
Correct.
this is
So that
10
was
minutes
so
into
that-
148 minutes that already like giving you a knockout in the face.
And that
Mhm.
fucking line that when he caught the brick. Do that. I'm a really
Yeah.
good lawyer.
I'm just a really good lawyer.
I'm just a really good lawyer.
I'm just
No,
hard.
Yep.
I'm just heartbroken for Charlie
And-
Cox because he went to theater to see that cameo with his wife,
Yeah.
and it was crickets.
Mhm.
Like,
But-
nobody reacted.
It's a wrong theater.
Wrong
Wrong
theater.
theater. Because in my theater, everybody was like, "Oh!"
I know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
I
really-
think he went to the wrong theater. And the thing is, it's also tough because the Netflix Marvel stuff. Had they moved it to Disney Plus right before they showed this movie, maybe he would have gotten the same. I don't know, but I don't know. It's actually, yeah. I was like, I can't. I almost squealed in the
No, I
theater.
was squealing.
Squeal.
I'm like, but especially after Hawkeye, right? When we got Kingpin, it's almost like, okay, we got to have Matt Murdock, and then Kevin Feige said, "Oh yeah, if we're
Confirmed it.
ever going to do
Yeah.
Daredevil, it's gonna be him." I was like, okay, so is he? Then there you go.
I was
So
just that was so back of my head. I knew most likely the other characters were gonna be there, but this was one of those ones that I'm glad that I didn't really put a lot of thought into. Like, Daredevil. I mean, I figured they'll introduce him sometime
yeah,
in the future. But like
yeah,
here,
yeah.
perfect timing.
Because
Perfect
now
timing.
even if they say it's like a different multiverse version of Daredevil, I don't care. I
It
mean,
doesn't matter. Yeah, it's
Kingpin
still
is
cool.
Kingpin, Daredevil is Daredevil. Just give me that. Give me that.
We're
I'm
all
okay.
in. So,
Yeah.
anyways, after that, kids things kind of settled down again, and their kids are worrying about getting into MIT and going to school. We got a funny bit in
Uh, I
Peter
remember the feeling.
going to school, and then Flash being an ass, trying to capitalize on being a Spider-Man's best friend, and then we get Peter coming up to his to the faculty with the teachers, and then there's just one guy who's anti Spider-Man or pro Mysterio and Hannibal Buress.
That's
And then,
Hannibal Buress. I
uh,
fucking love him.
that was so funny. Yeah, and then there was a
Feel free,
shrine of
feel free to swing in the hallways.
you know what you did. You know what you did, huh? So
just being an ass.
conspiracy theorist.
So and then after that, uh, they all get rejected from MIT, which was kind of obvious because their envelopes were really
Heartbroken.
freaking small and thin.
Really thin.
And
Yeah.
there's no next steps. There's no, yeah.
There's no program. There's no orientation
Yeah,
But
packet.
I'm shocked that they still get actual paperwork
letters.
from the mail. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
not email.
normally, like when I got my acceptance letter to nursing school, it's just an email. So it's
That is true.
so
That is
I
true.
don't know. So for me again, like the flaws, but I guess it's just has more gravitas, like opening it, and it's more dramatic looking. But
And I'm sure for
Yeah.
those big schools, there's still letters.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
they
definitely.
probably
And
a big
that letter
flame.
was pretty, at least pretty candid about the reasons why they were
Yeah, it's because of
rejected.
Peter.
Like your extracurricular involvement is like, oh, okay, you can't blame MIT. What if MIT fucking explodes, right? So
So after that, Peter gets depressed because more for his friends than for him. Like he didn't want to affect MJ and Ned negatively, but this is what happens. So he comes up with a freakingly stupid idea and goes to Doctor Strange. And this is a fun scene with the Sanctum Sanctorum where there are two guys or a girl and a guy just shoving snow
Interns.
for no explanation. I love that. I'm sure we might hear from that in the Doctor Strange too. They were just shoving snow, and they got a couple of scenes also shots. So I'm sure they're gonna pop up.
some
Again.
some peons.
I know, right? And then
The interns.
Actually, I thought at first that was at first because it was just very very at first it was a quick camera pan, but upon closer look, at first I thought it was Shang-Chi. Remember in the ending,
Shang-Chi and
remember
Aquafina.
in the ending, Wong takes Shang-Chi and what's his best friend's name? Through
Aquafina.
Aquafina, right?
That's her.
Goes through.
That's her name in the movie Aquafina.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. What was it? Is it them? Then upon closer look, nah, it's just too random.
Would have been funny though if it was both of them.
Yeah, I was thinking as well, but no, it wasn't.
So once we get there, we get the funny explanation that Wong is currently the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange. because of a technicality.
Which makes
that-
sense.
it
Which
Which
doesn't
makes
is
really
sense.
fucking
appear.
amazing. That's
Because for
true.
5 years, Doctor Strange was blipped, so it
Yeah.
does make sense. So now I don't know if you caught it during WandaVision. So maybe Agatha was talking about Wong and not Doctor Strange, but I don't know,
Oh, the Sorcerer Supreme.
right?
Mm.
Oh,
It's true. There's like, oh, you're gone 5 years.
yeah.
Come on.
I mean, Wong is strong too. He's
Exactly.
powerful too. But I mean,
He's
of course,
not. He's
Doctor
not in
Strange
the
is
strange level.
Doctor
the
of course.
reason why
Strange,
he's
yeah.
Sorcerer. Yeah, he's Sorcerer Supreme.
So anyway,
Oh,
Strange brings Peter down to the creepy ass basement, and he casts a spell. And Peter, being so freaking
It's a
annoying,
dungeon. It's
realizes
a magician's dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said like it's a. Well, let me know when we're back again.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. Go.
Oh yeah, so it's like I just said like it's like yeah, it's a basement where it's cool. There's actual functional stuff, a washer and dryer, the sweaters and stuff like that. But in the end, it's a magician's dungeon. Like
It is.
you have mystical prisons, but you also have beard dye.
That's right. They have a Yahtzee game board as well, but it's like all the storage of Doctor Strange.
It's so cool.
No,
He's from,
what I was saying is though, before they went down to the basement, he tells Peter, Strange tells Peter that I wish I could turn back time, but I don't have the stone anymore.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
And then Wong says, "Oh, I just wish everyone could just forget." And it's like, you know what? That was actually brilliant. Do you remember the full moon party at the
That was
mountains?
funny.
I forgot.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, see,
Exactly.
exactly."
So
we
yeah,
used
so
it for much less. Really?
so they go down to the dungeon, and then as he's casting the spell, Peter keeps interrupting him. And then I guess once he starts, he couldn't stop. He had to keep going. And Peter keeps
Another spot where we have to kind of like you're the greatest sorcerer ever. You're the sorcerer supreme. A kid distracts you from spells is one thing, but another way where you just how about just stop and reset?
Yeah, I know.
Like just like before anything works out, just like chill. But again, if he did, there's not gonna be any movie. So
Yeah, I think once he started, he couldn't stop.
Plus the thing is, he's also arrogant. So he's like, "No, I could do it. I could wing it." It's the personality. Like, he's just
Yes.
like, "Oh no, you can't distract me." And then of course he got distracted
He
and
got
all that stuff.
distracted.
So
So the spell kind of explodes, but last second he's able to pull it back together, and then what
Mhm. What if?
spells. So again, I'm asking Wiki to help me, but so while he was doing the spell, Peter was listing his loved ones one by one, the people that will remember him. But then so the spell fails, or the spell explodes, but he's able to pull it back 1 second, not knowing that something was able to escape, get in a little bit. But the spell, he contains the spell in this like box, so it doesn't happen. No, nobody forgets him, and then they think everything is okay. But and then Strange gets into this angry mode at Peter because he realized that Peter didn't even try to appeal. He didn't even call. He didn't. There's a wait list. There's an appeal. You didn't even call. Pick up
well,
a
to be
phone.
honest, did you guys know that
No,
you can
I
appeal?
didn't. I didn't think about that as well. To be honest.
So I mean, all right, come
I
on, Doctor
wouldn't know.
Strange. You know?
So
Sorry, I mean, I
Doctor
didn't get into
Strange
UP.
is
I didn't call
educated.
UP and say, "Hey, fuck you, UP." No.
No, I got in where I wanted, and I don't know. I didn't know.
So did I.
So anyway, so that gives Peter another idea to stalk the MIT, one of the administrators for MIT, to reconsider not his application, but MJ and Ned's. So he goes to the was this the bridge or like the overpass where the administrator was, finds her by chance in looking through cars, and that's when we get our first villain, Otto Octavius. My
Cool.
God,
Hello, Peter.
he is so good.
Alfred Molina reprises his role as Otto Octavius. Cool.
And dude, I just
Mhm.
have to say the effects here, nothing,
They were awesome.
nothing's popping out.
Everything was impressive.
Yeah, nothing's like, oh, I know that how they did that, or like, oh, that looked fake. No, like they nailed everything.
That's what $200 million will get you.
Even the nanotech, the in and out of the
Yeah.
suit, like damn. So
Yeah.
anyway, so they
Plus, yeah.
yeah. So Octavius and Peter fight. We get competition, as Otto says, when Peter
Mhm.
brings out the arms. That was
Extra
so
legs.
cool. So it's like a
Yeah.
spider and an octopus, and then he's able to pin Peter, and he sees that it's a different Peter, so he gets a little confused, and that's when the nanotech kind of absorbs the transfers some of the nanotech transfers to the legs legs like the arms, the
Arms,
tentacle
yeah.
arms of Dr.
Arms.
Octopus. And that's when I thought like
Appendages.
that's when I thought we're like shouldn't Stark's tech be more high tech than Otto's legs? And then when we get
Yeah, that was-
It is.
yeah,
I
that-
I
think
was
it
like
is.
at first it was like Dr. Octopus controlling the new nanotech, but then we find that yes, Stark's tech
You're
is
just pairing.
more high tech. Yeah, I was pairing
Bluetooth
and
pairing.
It felt like Bluetooth.
it did feel like Bluetooth.
That was
So-
I didn't think about I forgot that nanotech has some
Yeah.
remote control. So being
Yeah.
able to take over all those tentacles
Yeah.
was like crucial and important on getting like a
And-
first villain slash
Visually,
ally in
and
terms of their
visually
title.
funny as well.
Yeah.
With him
Plus, in his
controlling the
universe,
arm.
there are nanotech from Oscorp, but it's not perfected yet. So he's familiar. So he's not totally confused on what really happened. So that's good. That's good too.
Yeah, so we get Peter controlling all the arms and able to save the MIT administrator who thinks he's a hero and will fight for the three of them to get into MIT. And then that's when we get another explosion and we see a Green Goblin in all his
Some sort of scientist
Sam
coming.
Raimi glory. But before anything can
I
happen,
know you hate Sam Raimi, dude.
before anything can happen, Peter and
The-
Otto Octavius are transported to the Sanctum Sanctorum by Doctor Strange, who already captured. I was surprised by this. Already captured
Croc.
Lizard, right? Lizard.
Lizard.
And was it Lizard?
Yeah,
there's
just
another
Lizard.
guy. Was it just Lizard?
Yeah,
It's just Lizard.
just lizard. Because
Just
I mean
Okay.
that's a wise decision to kind of skip how to capture one to push the story a little bit faster.
And to show
Because
how
the next
yeah.
person that they kind of capture is Jamie Foxx. So yeah.
So so we get to the crux of the movie where Strange says that some of the villains from other Spider-Man have been able were called in or like drawn to this world because
Yeah.
of the spell
And
that you
instead of
fucked up.
erasing the people who knew Peter was Spider-Man,
Mhm.
it brought every like variants of every person that knew Spider-Man was Peter to this world, or
Mhm.
variants of them.
So with that, he tasks Peter and the crew, MJ and Ned. Oh, you bringing him in?
Yes.
Yeah, MJ, Ned, and Peter to capture these villains and send them back. And so wait, yeah. So that's where we get that scene where we Scooby Doo this crap or Scooby Doo this shit, and
Yeah.
MJ and Ned just really standing toe to toe with the likes of Doctor Strange and Doctor Octavius, and
Mhm.
I just love this group.
Seeing that this is your spell and you screwed up, I think you forgot the magic word.
Like,
That was-
please. I know a few magic words myself.
Please,
Like,
Scooby Doo this
please.
shit.
So they find traces of one by like some power lines, and we
Mhm.
get the nice shot of Peter in a black suit with with the phone taped.
So
He has all those
this
tech,
is
No,
nanotech.
Sorry,
one
the
of
black suit. The black suit was because
It's an
his
inverted.
suit had
had
had the
paint.
paint on.
That
So he
was
did the inversion.
that is
So you'll
side.
see the
He
wires.
did side A, side B on his suit, which was when we
Yeah.
were seeing the trailers and we were watching this black suit Spider-Man going through portals. Everybody thought like, oh, it's a
You suit,
Doctor
yeah,
Strange suit, a
person.
magical suit, a mystical suit, bro. It's just the inside of the suit. I like my mind was like, what? This was fucking amazing.
And they just fucking
So
duct
smart.
tape the cell phone on face or like on video call. That was so good. They couldn't even because like Edith was down. Probably they couldn't even connect their visor to the phone, or something. They just fucking taped it on the chest. So, anyways,
Smart though, right?
Smart.
so as we get there, we're revealed, and we see Jamie Foxx, baby, back as Electro from
Mhm.
Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Max Dillon.
powered up,
Yep.
Max Dillon, and as he's kicking Spider-Man's ass, he's saved surprisingly by Flint Marko, the Sandman from Spider-Man 3 of Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
and Peter captures a tree by accident, and then he captures
With his special
yeah,
sling gauntlet that
that Strange gave him.
Strange gave him.
So he was able to capture Max Dillon, and I think he captured. How did Flint also? Was it Strange?
He went. He went with Peter, I think.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, they
Because he wants to go home. So when Peter said, "Okay, there's a magician or there's a wizard that knows how to send you home," then he just, "Okay, I'll go."
okay, there we go.
He just wasn't expecting to
Innocent.
be in a cell or something like that. Yeah.
So here we get the twist. One of the twists of the movie where we see Osborn kind of come back to himself and break
Mhm.
the mask because that mask was crap. So he breaks the mask
Smart,
so that
smart.
he doesn't have to wear it again.
And he looks scarier without the mask.
His face is
He
amazing. Right?
does.
I have nightmares of that mask. The original one from Spider-Man 1 where you see the green mask and then there's like a net here to cover the mouth. And you still see the mouth inside it, so it's like, oh, it's so weird. Anyways, and then so he finds May in Feast Building where May works. So Parker comes in ready for a fight, but then May's saying like he's lost. We need to help him. That's what
He's just
you do.
confused.
Yeah, he's just confused.
That's the Uncle Ben, one of the Uncle Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you do. So he goes in, and then while discussing their battles with Spider-Man, Osborn, Octavius, and Max Dillon realize that they were pulled from their universe just before their deaths, and then so they're back in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then Strange is set to change to make the spell to send them all back to before they were taken, or just before they were taken, and then that's when Peter realizes that he needs to give them a second chance, like to help them. So
Mhm.
surprisingly, MJ and Ned side, and not surprisingly, but they side with him really fast. That well, Peter's instincts has always been good when it comes to helping people, anyways.
Yeah.
So as Strange tries to send them back, Peter feels the containment or the box that for the spell, and we have a nice Peter versus Strange fight. It's not really a fight, it's just like they're just trying to fight over
Yeah, they're
the
trying to
rock.
restrain each other, but it's like I like the so another thing. It's like Strange fucked up a very important spell, got clawed up by a lizard, asking help for high schoolers to wrangle up other multiversal people, and then you fight Peter in your turf
Yep.
Mhm.
in the what do you call that in that
Mirror,
Mirror
dimension.
mirror.
Mirror
Mirror
dimension or
dimension.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be your home ground, right?
Yeah.
So
He got owned by math.
He got
there you
owned
go,
by
exactly.
math.
I can do math. This is just math. I can do math.
So as the visually, it was so cool. I love all the falling from the two portals,
Mhm.
and then Peter finding a way to escape it with the webbing, the double web. So he's like able to stagnate himself. That was cool. And then the math thing at the end, of course.
Oh,
And
and
then
also the when Strange Astral projected Peter out, which is kind of like a boss move that can incapacitate
oh,
people.
that's my favorite scene. His
Even
body
so,
by instinct.
even unconscious body has spider sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was and the
That was
movement,
so cool.
the choreography for that scene was amazing. So, anyways, they leave Strange he's able to steal the sling ring in Doctor Strange and leave him there, which technically is like a death sentence, right? Because
Mhm.
I don't think even the Sorcerer Supreme can escape from the mirror dimension without a sling ring. So he leaves him there, and then he goes back. He talks to Ned and MJ and thinks really knows that they need to give them a cure. So this is one of the things that bothered me a little bit. Like cure, it's like I guess you can cure Otto, you can cure maybe Norman, but Max, Flint, and the Lizard, they weren't really. Did they go crazy? I don't. I mean,
Well, I mean, the
Uh,
idea is like the power made them go
Power
crazy.
makes
yeah.
you crazy.
it's
It's
that's
unlimited power, CHUBAX. Power
I don't know. That's where
corrupts.
it gets a little fishy for me because like you're your choices. You're not really your power. So your choices are the
Correct.
True,
if
true,
you
true.
if you choose if you're kind of bad, if you take
But
that power away, it doesn't make you
it just
good. It
just like
just
what
makes you a
Baron
bad guy
Zemo
without
said. It,
without powers.
just yeah, well, remember what Baron Zemo said. Not everybody is Steve Rogers. Not
But
everybody
it's
is
different
Peter Parker,
before
right?
the Zemo wants to stop it before you
Yeah, yeah,
corrupts
yeah,
you. This one,
yeah,
you're already corrupted in a sense. So I
yeah.
don't know what. And then also my other nitpick is how does sending them back work? If you're sending them back to the point of time before they die without
They might
powers,
still die.
they're just gonna die faster. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's where like
Yeah,
you don't even know
they
what
should have workshopped that a little bit.
you don't know what
But
sending them back means without
Or I
the
mean, they can. So I mean, me and my buddy Milo we talked about that. So our thought was like when they go back, they have knowledge that they are gonna die, right?
mhm,
So they'll probably protect themselves or reason them out or give up
yeah,
so
yeah,
that they
but
don't have
from the
to.
dialogue, it seems that they were taking just at the moment before they were dying.
Yeah.
yeah.
So for example, if
For
for Green
Octavius,
Goblin, the glider is gonna pierce him, right?
yeah,
So maybe like now, knowing that the glider is gonna pierce him, he can like block or something. Either
yeah.
way, but yeah,
Okay, okay.
it's not tight.
Well,
It's
because
not tight.
yeah, because even
No,
with
but
Octavius,
it gives you a little leeway.
because with Octavius, he really had to sacrifice himself because that his machine is gonna blow up, right?
Yeah.
So he was already kind of good when he died. So it's almost, I don't know,
And that's just
just kind of
yeah.
weird. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but during that time, the Octavius at that time, remember when they were recalling, I
yeah,
remember I had Spider-Man by the throat.
yeah,
And then and then
yeah.
and then I'm
Something happened.
here.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe he wouldn't have overloaded the machine or something like that. I don't know. I have to
Might have not,
rewatch.
or he knew that he was gonna drown, so he.
Yeah.
Which gives me to my other issue. If those who say they cured him, they send him back.
Mhm.
The Peter that we meet later, Toby Maguire, is the future. Does
Mhm.
his past change, or oh no, with the
No,
difference
it's
of
the same.
It's
okay,
It's the
well,
same
with
time
Avengers
travel universe.
they
The
set
past doesn't change the future.
the
so if
Avengers
you
yeah they said
yeah
they okay that's
without the
fine.
TVA, and well, depending on how they integrate Kang, right? So it's basically he
No,
will still
no,
have knowledge,
from
but
from okay, I remember now. From Avengers
Yeah.
explanation, it just makes
yeah,
a
Changing the
split.
past
It
doesn't
just
change the
splits.
future.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So
it's just a variant.
it's not as bad as I thought. So that's good. It's even
It's not,
increasing.
but again,
Yeah,
this is a lot of discussion too. Well, that's the thing. If you think about
yeah,
it, it falls apart, eventually fixes itself.
yeah,
But if you don't think about it, it's just fine.
yeah. And the thing is, if the TVA still existed during this No Way Home, so whatever Peter tried to do is going to be a variant, right, or something like that, and it would have
No,
been
the
pruned.
TVA can't exist because there's more. There's a multiverse.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it should
but
have it should have broken.
if Loki didn't happen, so it's just the whole loop,
Oh,
right?
if
That's
Loki didn't
yes,
happen, yeah, this
yeah.
wouldn't have
So
happened.
yeah, so like even the TVA were like, well, nobody should have known he's Peter Parker, so let's prune this timeline, or so all this other stuff going on. So yeah, so if you really think about it, there's a lot of debates.
No, but yeah, but what Jong said is kind of it's not a plot hole anymore. It's just like
Yeah,
a gray area.
It's a
yeah,
gray area. But again, hopefully in the future iterations they'll make
They'll clean it up a
Spider
little more.
Verse, Spider Verse,
next Spider-Man movie will be
Spider
some
Verse.
other Spider-Man and then explanation why that
Let's
happened.
have Spider Ham, man. Come on.
Oh, Spider Ham,
And
Spider Pig.
and
Anyway,
Nick Cage is Noir Spider Man.
no,
So
but oh, okay. One more thing, if before since we're talking about that, if they send them back just immediately without really fixing them, and they knew that they were gonna die, wouldn't that also
that's fucked
alter the
up. Yeah,
future there?
yeah.
Meaning they could kill Tobey
Spider.
Maguire, they could kill Andrew Garfield,
Yeah,
right?
but
Exactly.
like Jong said,
Mm.
in this universe, in the Avengers universe, the time doesn't alter the past or the future past. You know what I mean? It just makes
Yeah,
another
that's right.
branch.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, they have this idea to go to Happy Hogan's what did he call
Apartment.
his place?
Apartment.
No, he called it something like a
Yeah.
funny thing like
Um,
a spa or something like a retreat or something like that. And
let me
they
search.
left the lizard inside the truck, right? Inside,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
was he even bound? I can't remember.
No, he was
No,
just in the truck because one, I think that they don't want to deal with a lot of CG in a small
yeah,
space.
it would
No, no,
Reese
but I mean,
Files.
I'm talking about in the story
The
wise,
story.
the logic. How did they know that that truck would contain him?
I guess he just pinky promised not to leave. So
Yeah.
there's just another flaw, right? So
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was just there for the ride.
yeah,
Okay. Well, he wasn't that evil anyway. So anyway, so he works with Norman, and he's able to cure Otto Octavius.
Mhm.
And then I love the scene where the spider is Peter Stingle. I'm gonna call it Peter Tingle forever. His Peter Tingle starts tingling, and he just walks, and everybody knows what it's happening. So they're just like pausing and stopping and looking at him. It's like, what is it? And he's trying to figure out what's happening. I myself thought that there was something outside coming, like the lizard or something from
yeah.
another villain coming out from the outside, and then bam, he webs Norman, and then we get Norman back. We get Green Goblin and Peter. Like I mean, I love Willem Dafoe. Whatever you say
Willem
about Sam
Dafoe,
Raimi Spider Man, Willem Dafoe was
some sort of a scientist himself.
some. I know the callback lines are amazing, and I'm very happy I prepared the kids because I made them watch the first 5 Spider Mans.
Nice.
So, anyways, they go, and then Osborn's Goblin comes out, and just with that quick speech, turns uh Max Dillon. I believe Max Dillon. He was kind of wavering ever since,
Mhm.
but like Flint Marco was like he was kind of a good guy, you know. Even
Yeah.
in Spider-Man 3, like he really didn't. He said
He's
he
just
like he
like
said in Spider-Man 3, I was just trying to
he
save
with
my
his kid.
daughter. Yeah, and then but then again, we don't know how long. Oh well, yeah, because if they put him before he died, then he would have been Sandman for a while, so he could have been turned to the bad side more and more, I guess. And then Connor's escape, obviously, and then they have this fight where I'm
That's a brutal fight scene.
Electro
Very.
hits Octavius out. I'm
Mhm.
happy though that they didn't do that. If it was in lesser hands, they would have made Otto Octavius chip burn again with
Yeah.
Electro. So,
Yeah.
but I think since this is nanotechnology with Peter, they were able to, because they knew that happened, that it's fried, So I think
Mhm.
they were able to put some. I mean, they didn't put it in the story, but that's what I'm thinking. Like
But some coding.
this one was more shock proof.
Coded. Yeah. Coded.
But
Yeah.
they throw Otto out, and then we have a very very brutal fight scene between
Brutal fight scene.
Lizard in and out with Peter and Goblin. I think Max Dillon. Where does Max Dillon go?
I think he just ran away.
He goes
He
out,
just
right?
ran away.
I know
Yeah.
he left it.
He left
Oh,
because I think he no, I think he stole. He wanted to steal the arc reactor or something like that. So he's focused on other things, not Peter.
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So he goes. We have a brutal fight scene. I love the hallway scene with Goblin and Peter
Hmm.
just trading blows. The choreography
I've
was good. I
been
mean,
I've been seeing I've been seeing clips or videos about the choreography team that built the previs that particular fight scene. They really wanted to be both, like a combination of every every strong action movie that we've seen will have a hallway scene,
Hmm.
from
right? So
Old
that
Mhm.
was
Boy.
kind of
It's
like
from Old Boy,
Going
yeah,
maybe.
old
go,
boy,
going back to Daredevil. That's
Daredevil.
season one. Yeah.
There's always going to be this wonder that they're trying to do. So they wanted to do a Spider-Man version of it where it is not only it's a hallway scene, but
Yeah.
it's a multi-level
Multiple
hallway
level.
Yeah.
scene.
Hallway scene. I mean, come on,
So
Darth
this was
Vader,
good.
Multi
They were
Darth
falling through
Vader and
levels.
Luke. Yeah.
Also
To the
reminded me of.
ground floor.
It also had vibes of the Spider-Man game with Kingpin. They were going through
Mm-hmm.
multiple levels.
You're
Oh
Trying to
yeah.
right.
build
You're
it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know why I shouldn't dig it, but I do dig the new Goblin look, like the hobo
Yeah.
look.
the hoodie,
The
Yeah, the
the
hoodie.
purple and brown hoodie. I'm in it.
It's the hobo look.
So fun.
Hobo Goblin. So we get the fight there, and then we get to the ground floor. J. Jonah Jameson spouting bullshit outside. And then
That
one
was
of
another thing too. We skipped. Like he was from his apartment
Mhm.
doing his vlogs, which is kind of cool, his podcast shit. And then cut to middle of the movie, you're in a fucking set with crew, with people following your
Because he has minions, basically
yeah, he was
followers who.
he called somebody. Somebody told him where Peter was, so he went there.
Yeah.
but that's like, but even like when after the fight, right? Like,
Yeah.
on the
When
big
when
giant
you reach a
screen.
million subscribers, John, you'll get minions.
Oh. So I expect a real studio setup here once we
Yeah.
get to 1 million subscribers. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
That's the goal. 1 million subs.
So we get to this fight scene at the bottom on the ground floor, and Norman finally able to incapacitate Peter, and May, being awesome as she is, fights back. Peter hits him with a cure, but it doesn't work. And then that fucking glider, man. It's just, if you really think about it, it's really deadly because automated, can silent, can come from
Mhm.
anywhere. It comes in, crashes through. They made it really vague if it hit May directly or not. So she
Yeah.
goes down, and Kat, my wife loves this scene because so um Goblin leaves, and then May and Peter get up,
Mhm.
and then Peter is distraught because it's all his fault for trying to help them, but May assures
Mhm.
him, because it came from May technically, right? To help
Yeah,
them.
yeah. He wanted to quit. May was the one who's
Yeah.
like, no, you gotta help these people.
And then we get
Yeah.
the classic line delivered very, very
Great
well with
power.
great power. There must also come great
Now the
Yeah, that was
original line.
Chills.
Yes,
Chills.
for the first
Chills,
time.
man.
I mean, they alluded it to, but we also don't know the context here. If Ben's been saying it or Ben said it to Peter, I don't think it. They never alluded it. Said if it was Peter's fault that
With Holland.
Mhm.
yeah, if
Yeah.
Tom Holland was the reason why Ben died. I don't think so. I don't see the guilt in him for that.
Yeah, I don't think they've even addressed Ben directly.
Yeah, I think he.
I think I read
I think
somewhere
he,
they're not gonna have Uncle Ben here.
I think he just died for
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe
And this one was like this
disease
one's the
or
impetus.
something or an accident. Yeah.
Or Aunt May might be a single mom or something.
could
No,
be.
no. I think one of the scenes one of the reasons they showed Ben was in Far From Home. His backpack was
Okay.
B Parker or Ben Parker or something like that.
B Park. Oh, okay. So they probably either broke up or he died or
Yeah,
something.
he probably died because she kept the name
Yeah.
right. Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Aunt May
Is
Parker.
is it May
Okay.
Parker? Yeah.
So he died.
May Parker.
So
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
and this is
Maybe
why
during the
especially my wife loved the scene because as technically she is his mom, you know. She
Yeah.
was badly hurt,
Yeah.
but she stood up. She looked okay because she wanted to make sure that Peter was okay.
Yeah.
And
That
once
was
she
great.
knew that Peter was okay, that's when she just like,
He just rested.
I'm out. Yeah, I can't.
Yep.
I just I'm making sure you're okay, but I'm not anymore. So, and then we just get the scene again. Evokes the made me tear up. Same scene with Spider-Man one, the game.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because I didn't think she was gonna die. Just like in the game,
No,
I didn't think they were gonna kill Aunt May. Because in the comics, they never kill Aunt May.
They never kill her.
There's
In the
the,
past two Peter Parkers, they never kill Aunt May. Aunt May's the staple, and
they call this like so when the movie came out a couple of months ago, a lot of other reviewers and podcasters, this was a very big debate because again, we never really saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man become Spider-Man. He was more
Yes.
like everything was kind of like given to him,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Gets the suit. You had a surrogate dad. There's no real sense of loss for this particular Spider-Man. That's why this movie is so special for me because all of my expectations were subverted, particularly this. Like one, I was thinking, I at this moment I was like, oh, this is gonna suck because May's gonna be knocked out, and at the end of the movie she'll be in like a hospital and shit like that. Because one, Marissa Tomei as May Parker, fucking hot. Like everybody loves
amazing.
her.
Yeah.
There's like that was amazing casting to find a functional May where you can have a relationship with Tony Stark or Happy Hogan,
Yep.
right? So it's a good character. And two, there's very, very few female characters in the MCU already that have really strong foundations, like
Mhm.
an actual integral part of the story.
That's
A
right.
lot of the females that we see are, like Dr.
Support.
Cho that will be popping here, a love interest here and there, an assistant here and there. We have Valkyrie, we have a lot of superheroes, but within that superhero genre, that was
Pepper.
that was it. This
Pepper
May
Potts,
Parker was like, you're just a regular person dropping pearls of wisdom, amazing character, well built across three movies. Why would you kill such a golden goose? And then they did. I was like, whoa.
Brave.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think I see it as like the first, well, not the first 2 years, but all his time as Spider-Man before, he was just like Spider Boy. This is when he
Mm,
becomes
this is
Mhm.
the
100%.
Spider-Man, the classic
man.
Spider-Man
Mm.
with the guilt and
Spider-Man.
the burden. Because his
The
burden before was
darkness.
more like
Yeah.
playing. So, anyway, so
Mhm.
we go. So May dies. Peter's distraught. He goes. I love the scene with him watching the billboard and standing in front of it with the rain. Good shots. The face with the raindrops, and then we pull back. He's watching J. Jonah Jameson blame him. We got the
Mhm.
big billboard and the silhouette. So good. And then we cut back to May, to Ned and MJ in Ned's Lola's house or apartment. Oh, I didn't go. I thought they were gonna allude to maybe a little bit of Filipino in there, but they went all out, bro. I'm
They
so
went
happy.
all.
Like,
Oh my god, I was so happy. So I was like,
Conversations in
I
Tagalog.
was elbowing my buddy Milo. I was like, bro, look, finally, there's, you know, I'm again, I'm one of those things where everybody says representation matters, Asian
I'm
lives
saying it,
matter,
Robert.
yada yada.
Mhm.
True, but even Asia is such a big place. Like if you say
Yep.
Asian lives matter, dude, it's the biggest fucking continent. There's like very rarely do we hear like I don't need
Filipino.
subtitles for that. I understand what
Yeah,
you're
like,
saying.
sabihin mo,
And
taong yan.
Filipinos.
Yung
in the
agyu,
M-
yung agyu.
Ang galing niya
Filipinos,
yung agyo dun sa kanto.
Kakalinis
Filipinos in
ko
the
lang.
Nakisame.
MCU, bro.
Nagkalat na naman siya.
Kakalat na naman sila.
And I was like, yep, that's exactly the tone. They got the tone. Yep, that's what a lot
You know
of
what?
us say.
My wife and tells my daughter that's exactly what mama sounds like. My mother-in-law. Nagkalat na naman kayo. Ikaw talaga. Nagkalat ka na naman. And the funny thing is Andrew Garfield also says, "Okay, Lola." I think he even knew how to call her. Okay, Lola.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm sure
God,
she has
so
Filipino.
Filipino friends or
anyways.
something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So Filipinos exist in the MCU, baby. And then
That's awesome.
Ned discovers that he can create portals using strange swimming. This is
Salamanquero.
so I didn't even catch that. My
Salamanquero.
wife was like, "He said Salamanquero, really?" Awesome. So this is so cool. And then they try to find Peter. I was slow here. So he does that thing, and then we see Peter.
Mhm.
We see Peter Parker in the silhouette, and it's raining or it's dark.
Yeah,
I really thought it was Tom Holland.
yeah.
And then when he started
Dark.
running forward, it's a big
I
Spider-Man.
thought so too.
And Andrew Garfield was buff here. It was like I thought in my mind he was the
he never
huh? What was that, John?
you know, no, it's like no, he never went out of shape. He
No,
still
no, but-
looks
but
amazing. It's great.
I know, but in my mind, from what I remember, the first like his movies, he was what's that name? Like lanky Spider-Man. He was a tall, like long torso, thin.
Skinny, lanky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lanky. There we go.
Yeah.
And here he was buff. So he comes in, and he immediately takes off his mask. Like you can see the differences here. It's like I'm Peter, and this scene is just. I mean, I know like after the movie they were saying Tom Holland was like campaigning for, or not campaigning, but he would love Amazing Spider-Man 3. I was like, yeah, right. But then seeing
Fuck
Andrew
yeah.
Garfield here, like, damn, I do miss him. I do like him as Peter. I forgot about that. And
He
I
was
want-
not bad.
I
Yeah.
want him. Yeah, I want him back as Spider-Man, and the audience is ready, prepared for that. They won't be confused. They know how the multiverses work. So they have this fun scene with him, and he's trying to prove it that he's Spider-Man. He goes up to the wall with his hands, like, do some more. I'm not gonna crawl for you, like stuff like that. But
This
he
is
ends
a
up
lot.
doing-
This is a lot already.
Tigil mo, linisin yung agyo dun sa
which he does. He cleans a cobweb.
That
with
was
the
my
top.
favorite scene ever.
We have the scene with MJ throwing is it a chop out, I
Bagels.
think? Or
No,
a
it's
bread?
pandesal, man. It's
Pandesal,
pandesal.
pandesal. I mean,
Pandesal,
the bread
pandesal.
rolls. So he's throwing it to him. And it's like, why didn't you catch it? I thought you had the Peter single. I do. It's not just for bread, but it's not for bread. Or the bread roller or something. And then after that, of course, they try again. And tries again, and behind him opens. And it's just an old man. What did that say? A
So
homeless, a homeless old guy.
there's random dudes now.
And there's
No, what was the term? What was the term used?
Youth pastor.
Yeah, cool youth pastor.
he looked old, man, but yeah, he's the one that got thin. So we get Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker come, and they discuss it, and they apparently they've been thrown into the world as well, right? And
Yep.
they know what happened
'Cause
to
they know who Peter Parker was.
they know what happened to Tom Holland's Peter. So they know how he thinks, so they find him with MJ's help. And then we get this cool scene with Peter like seeing them to the rooftops coming. They have this great discussion about like Peter blaming himself and losing May and then doing the typical thing that you wouldn't understand. And then when they start talking, they do understand. Who else can understand Peter
Mhm.
than another Peter? We see Andrew Garfield like so his lines are so good here with Gwen's death. Uh Toby was good too, but it just makes me laugh when I
This was
remember.
like Tom Holland's acting was like this one was where I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
With Tom
it
Holland.
was like, oh, okay, I feel stuff. Because like it's always been I look at him, you're Spider-Man, you're fun, you're cool, you're cute. In a broken Tom Holland in any movie, even with the Vulture fight, even with the in Homecoming with Mysterio, yeah, you're beat up, but you're not broken. This one was the first time I saw him. I was like, yeah, all
He
right.
was
He's really good.
Every
I
single
shafted.
mean,
one of
Yeah.
there were shades already in the Homecoming where he was trapped with the boulders
Mm.
and he was screaming for
Oh,
help.
the
He was
first one, like
panicking.
I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And so they do this pep talk.
No, but that wasn't a manly cry. That was more of that was that was not a manly cry when he was pinned under the
Yeah, that's
boulder.
why
He
it's
was
great
like,
because
"Help
he
me!"
was
kind of.
panicking. He was like, how old
Yeah.
was he then? He's like
Yeah.
freshman or something, and he's just panicking, like help, like fuck. So anyway, Andrew Garfield goes with this talk where he said he's not pulling any more punches. Like he went rage mode or something, and it's so
Mhm.
Mm.
See, even those like this was again, this movie has the highest highs and some like meh because like this one was a great 3 to 5 minutes of catching you up with all the Spider-Man in context that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it may
yes.
everything, it provides more context on how difficult the situation is. Like what you mentioned, these are the only people that can understand you. And this is why. And it's like everything made sense. But like 2 minutes before it, and I wasn't able to explain is like we're just gonna skip that fucking Ned just knew how to use the sling ring immediately, right?
Well, yeah,
Right? It's like it's
but I
just
think
like
Doctor
even
Strange.
fucking Doctor Strange took almost dying to use it.
But Doctor
And
Strange, I think he noticed something about Ned too. Like,
well, they did
or was it
say
was
they
it
did
Wong?
say the
Yeah, there's some
oh,
blood or something
our
like that.
family has some magic in them,
Yeah,
Bro, he's a
But
Salamancero.
still,
It should clear up everything.
he's a Salamanquero, man.
He's a
That's right.
Salamancero. No more issues with that.
And the thing is, if they really want to introduce, because they did have like in the comics like new Filipino superheroes, right? So if they want to pull from that too, I mean,
hopefully, I
that's the
mean,
best way to do it. It's like, either do, it's kind of like going back to red, going turning red. It's like the family heirloom blood, whatever. You could do that. You know, hopefully, we'll see.
So okay, so after that they decide to continue with Peter's original plan of curing the villains. So they go to it was a school, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
This is the
his high
science
school
lab,
lab has
high
all
school
the
Their
lab.
shit.
lab. Yeah.
This was a delight to watch. The scene where they're
I
all in
love
their
this.
element.
Uh,
Was it
they
Andrew
did the meme.
who wore the? Andrew was the one wearing the.
Peter, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew was the one wearing the lab coat, right? Like
They
kind of
did the
like
meme. The
Gwen.
goggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, lab coat. Yeah.
So we have this nice mention of Harry Osborn to Ned from Toby, and Ned was like flipped
Hmm.
out. That was so cool. And then
Like, I'm not gonna be a bad guy.
yeah, I know. And
That will
then
that will kill you.
and then after that they set the plan up. They call Peter calls J. Jonah Jameson, sets it up, and I love this. I forgot this from the trailer with them changing the Statue of Liberty to holding the shield. the Captain America shield. I just love that. It's just small things, like just this ties this universe together. So they lure them there, which I don't know. Another just occurs to me right now. Like, oh, okay, no, they needed to go there because they had the box thing that could send them away. So they lure them, and then we have this. It's gonna be hard to explain, but it's just like a free for all. Um, who arrives first? Was it Electro and Flint? Oh, and Lizard. Lizard arrives also. The
Lizard,
Sandman.
Flint, Electro.
So it's just
And Lizard.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just there was a big rumble from that, and then we realized that Ned couldn't close the portal, which is a funny thing, which is realistic also.
He can open, but he
He
couldn't.
didn't realize how to close it. So there's this chaos over there trying to cure it. They eventually do cure Mark. Well, it's not cure. I'll call it depower. They're able to
Depowered. They took
depower
all of the
Clint
electricity
Marco.
out of him.
No, Marco first.
Flint
Sandman
Marco,
first.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's stuck in the crown. And then did they get Electro or I think they got Electro second, right? And then Lizard third.
It wasn't them.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes,
then
yes.
that's when Ned calls Strange back, which means that he really was stuck in the murder dimension without that sling ring, which is a nice touch. I mean, I would in a lesser hand, they would have had just him break out from the murder dimension, but I don't think that's possible. So they stuck with it. They stuck with their guns, and then he got a taste of what he did to Loki. He's falling for. What did he say? How many hours was he stuck? 30 hours or something.
I think it was just hanging for 10 hours.
Yeah. So he comes in, and then Octavius also comes in and helps, and then we get this so Green Goblin comes in and steals the box and fucks it up. Also, he puts a bomb in it. So such a nice touch. Like when they got the box back, I was like, oh, that was fast, man. And when you open it, there's like that small green thing. It's like so annoying, like so Green Goblinish. So it explodes. So Strange goes up top trying to contain the damage while they fight a goblin, and then we have the scene where MJ falls, and Peter dives after her, but gets hit by a goblin glider, and then Andrew Garfield comes in and saves
Yep.
him.
See,
And
here's the thing. I saw the scene coming as soon as Andrew Garfield came
everybody
out,
saw it, dude. Everybody expected it.
Yeah.
but it's still one of those things. It's kind of like Michael Jordan. You know that it's coming,
It's still.
but
But I have to say, I love his
Yep.
facial reaction after he saves MJ.
Are you
Because after
okay?
he saves it, you okay? And then he starts, he has like bit
You
cry
okay?
face.
okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
because he just what it means
Because
to him.
it's like what I failed to do. I got to complete it here.
I was able to do it for
Love it.
somebody. Yeah.
Love
So
that.
it was so good. So
Yeah.
then we get this another fight scene with Tom Holland and Peter One and Green Goblin, and it was just another vicious choreography fight. Another Tom Holland just wailing away on Green Goblin. I love the anger. I love the fight. And then we get the scene where he grabs the glider and tries to stab Green Goblin with it, like such an opposite of what happened before. And then who else but Tobey Maguire coming in to stop him and stop him from doing the wrong
Youth
thing.
pastor.
And then he gets stabbed also in the back. And then
Like I've
Yeah,
been
again?
again,
I've
and then
been
he
stabbed
gets
before. It's okay.
This
It's okay. I've been stabbed
Eh,
before.
I love the scene where Andrew throws the cure, and then Peter just catches it from behind, like, "Pak," and then he hits Osborn, and it works. And then at the same time, things are breaking up, like the world, things are coming in. I didn't see the silhouettes too much. Like I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs there. And then
People, if you
Yeah,
look at YouTubers, they see Craven, they see some
Rhino.
Rhino was there, or But for me, it's like, you know what? I want to be surprised. I'm not gonna break down every frame on that one. It's too much.
it's what you want it to look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Rorschach was there.
we want then we see Peter go up to Doctor Strange and in a nice tie to everything where everything's coming in because of Peter being Spider-Man, the knowledge of Peter being Spider-Man. He makes him do the original spell, but this time the complete original spell of everybody forgetting him. And there's just that would have been amazing in itself. And then we get this small line from Doctor Strange. It's just so fucking small, where Benedict delivers so good, like. But then
Nice meeting you, or nice
your
knowing you,
your
or something like
family, your friends, everybody that loves you, they're gonna forget. You're like, oh,
that. The Avengers will forget you. Oh my
you know,
god.
it's like that Strange also loves this kid. I mean, he wouldn't do
Oh,
the
yeah.
spell in the first place, but
He does. He wouldn't have done this if he didn't.
yeah, but and he doesn't show it. But then here he breaks. He literally slips, like, and he knows that, like, this kid is. Yeah, he may have made a mistake, but he's still after everything. He's trying to do
pure.
he's
He-
doing the
he-
good
he's
thing.
just,
and-
he's just doing his best, and that's the
Yeah.
thing too. It's like the thing that I took away from here, because like my friend said, oh, they might forget Peter Parker, but they'll still remember Spider-Man and his accomplishment, his adventures.
Mhm.
But the thing that made the Strange statement much better is, going back to the first Spider-Man with Iron Man. If you can't be Spider-Man without the suit, then you don't deserve the suit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also you're losing a loved one. Whether it's Spider-Man, you're losing Peter. I mean, you might have Spider-Man, but the person behind it, the motivations, the
Yeah.
character, the experiences you've had with him, gone. So this one happens, and he does the spell. Everything goes back. Oh, he has a nice moment with Peter 1, Peter 2, and Peter 3. The nice hug, and then he goes to Ned and MJ, and there's this funny scene where they kiss, and Isabella and her friend were giggling, and me and RJ were like, and
Yeah. I was like, "Shh, you're too young."
because they were laughing and giggling. She was with her friend, her classmate, old classmate. It was like so funny. Everybody was laughing at me and RJ, and then so after that,
I didn't know that CHUBAX heard me do that.
yeah, I was laughing. So
I was like,
they disappeared, and everybody disappears, goes back to their own world, and we see Peter
Octavius and Peter.
promising to find them immediately
Yeah.
because like even Ned was heartbroken,
Yeah.
and then he goes to this coffee shop where Ned and MJ is, and
Mhm.
I think they passed MIT, right?
Yeah,
They
do.
They both
MJ
got in. Yeah.
MJ and Ned. With Peter, it's kind of vague. I don't think he did because he's staying.
No,
in
he has to-
he's,
No,
he's trying to do
nobody-
the GDPs again. The G
He had to take his GED because nobody has a record. Of it.
GED.
because of the
yeah.
book. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay. So we get this last scene where he gets into his own room. Another reminiscing. It reminds me of the Spider-Man one, right, where he's
Yeah.
living in his own
Toby,
apartment.
yeah.
The game. No, the game where he's living in his
Oh, the
apartment.
game. Yeah.
The intro,
right.
he's living in, and he's like about to be evicted because he can't pay money and stuff. Everything's a mess. Boxes.
Rant.
And then the school scene where after that he comes in out as Spider-Man, and am I mistaken? It's the classic suit, right?
It's
Classic
a classic suit that he
It's a
made.
classic
himself.
suit.
He made so
Color,
there's
the colors and everything is
Yeah.
it's the typical Spider-Man suit. So I loved it.
yeah.
So it's like
So no nanotech. Yeah.
No
This
nanotech,
is-
just regular cloth sewing machine.
no, I mean, and the design too. So it just
Mhm.
emphasizes the point that
Yeah.
because of what he's lost, he's now Spider-Man. The Spider-Man
That's-
everybody we knows. The
That's
classic
the
Spider-Man.
the beauty of this movie, and the thing that impressed me the most is how can you close out a trilogy but give me the real origin story of the story of the
It's
hero.
so good. Yeah, it's so
It's
good.
like
I'm,
it's
Galing,
I'm still
diba?
processing
the
it.
paradox of it is
It's the
fucking
slow burn, man. Slow
I
burn.
know. So
No,
anyway,
it's the end, but it's the beginning.
it's
Yeah.
the
It's
end,
just
but it's the
yeah.
beginning. It's
Yeah.
which is usually, everybody says like it's not the end of one thing and the beginning of the other. Usually that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
The the end of one thing is the beginning of the other. But this movie is both at the same
Yeah.
time.
It
Yeah.
is the end, but it is also the
It's
beginning
insane.
of
Like
the
it's
same
breaking
thing.
my brain how
And I think
how it worked.
it's also a reaction to what happened to Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, we just had Spider-Man. We already know the origin story, right? So this one is kind of like, are we actually going to get an origin story? That we did, but we want it. We loved it because it's not a rehash
and it's
of the
not the way
past.
we expected it.
Requel.
Not
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
expect-
threw
Yeah,
they
it's not a
made an
requel. Yeah.
origin story, but it was a trilogy, and we didn't expect it to be an origin story. So it's like so
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
And having the previous Spider-Man as part of the origin story.
Oh,
Having all the callbacks, like even
Yeah.
like the apartment
Like,
is the same apartment that,
because
or at least close to the same apartment as
Yeah.
the first Spider-Man
because
was.
I can't imagine, like, okay, we're talking about Batman for next week or something like that. Can you just imagine if Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer Prime, and then
please
um,
no, George.
George Clooney,
George Clooney and who's
Batfleck,
Bat Fleck, and
No.
then who's the
What's
other
the
one?
worst?
Christian Bale,
Adam West.
Christian
Adam
Bale.
West, and Adam West. If they all show up, I
Rest
don't
his
think so.
soul.
Yeah, right. So it's the only way to do it, at least with the MCU, right? So
I want to
yeah.
know. I want to be in that writers' room. Like, who thought of it? How
Mhm.
did they break this out? Like, it's so good.
It's
Anyways,
it's so many,
yeah.
and
we-
that's the thing. There's so many elements to this movie, and then that's again because there's so many elements to the movie. It's almost impossible to make it perfect. And then when we
Mhm.
were looking at every single beat and we were criticizing
Yeah.
or critiquing every single beat, we can find weaknesses in the beats, or like we need to assume certain things, or we have to jump
Yeah.
forward certain things.
Yeah.
But in the end, when you just step back a little bit,
Yeah.
it's a fucking it's a
Yeah.
oh my God, it's just a great piece of
I-
art.
Plus
It's
some of
great.
the throwaway lines, like when Jamie Foxx said, "Oh, I thought Spider-Man would have been black." Like, there's
Dude,
Miles
yeah,
Morales
that,
coming up.
I forgot that was so good. Like,
Just
Like,
wait, just wait, my boy.
wait for
Yeah.
well, it's not gonna be Donald Glover anymore. It's gonna be this kid, right? The one from Cobra Kai that they want to do Spider-Man, or I don't know.
Or
No,
probably
Oh,
there's-
really?
kid.
we'll see. No, it's
Yeah, but we'll see, we'll see. And then of course the Octavius and Peter Parker moment, like, oh, just getting better every day, or trying hard, or something like that. He said that's nice touches there.
Well,
then,
Did they have an end credit scene? I'm trying to
yes.
did.
remember.
So
they
they
did.
did.
It's just a Doctor Strange.
Oh,
No,
just
no,
Doctor
no.
Strange.
There's a mid-credit scene with
Oh, with Happy.
no, with Eddie Brock,
Oh,
with Tom
the
Hardy.
Let
Oh
there be
yeah, okay,
carnage.
okay. So
So
Tom
he's
Hardy
in a,
was
he's in a bar.
transported back.
Do we
No,
still?
no,
we're still continuing.
he's in a bar somewhere, and he's
He's
talking
in he's in the
to.
bar in the Mexico at the end of Venom 2.
Yes,
And
he's talking
then
to
essentially
him.
he just,
and
but
he's
he
trying
left a glob
to-
though.
No, he's trying. Well, yeah, he's trying to let the bartender explain what's been going on in this universe
Yeah.
with their
Which is-
heroes and Avengers.
Football
and
is life guy?
Thanos. Yeah,
Football is life.
from Ted Lasso.
Ted
And
Lasso.
then he gets called back, and then he leaves a blob.
Yeah.
So, do we assume that it's football is life is gonna be Venom? Or you just
I
like
mean,
really
I wouldn't
Possibly.
doubt that. Why would you cast somebody that famous for fucking bartender for an end credit scene?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I have to give them props. Like when they did that trailer for when they did that end credits for Carnage Venom, the second Venom, where he does get transported.
Venom
it was
2.
like it was like a messy end credits. Like what the fuck, you know? But
Yeah,
it ties it so well together here, and
it-
we get
you
the
have to watch
answers.
this movie to make it make sense.
We get the
Yeah.
answers to our questions. They're like he's not gonna be Tom Holland's Venom. He's not. They're not
Yeah.
gonna meet. He's
No.
just
Please no.
he's one of the variants that
No.
he's a variant of another Venom that knows Peter. That's why maybe he was called to this world, and then he left
Yeah.
the glob.
I mean, the hope. I mean, the rumors and the hope is like, all right, Venom's universe with
Morbius.
maybe Morbius
Morbius.
is Andrew Garfield's universe, so they can do another
Oh,
Spider-Man there.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's the hope. That is the hope. But
That-
again, it's all
yes.
rumors. That would
But
be.
that's-
I dig that.
That's out. That rumor's out there. It's from
That's as soon as the movie came out. That was kind
Because
of
they're
like
talking
number
about
one.
Andrew Garfield coming back.
And
Everybody wants him back.
Andrew wants it, but
Yeah,
again,
he's
there's
looking good. He's looking
and
good.
and he's, especially if he wins the Oscar for Tick Tick Boom.
Tick,
I
Tick,
mean,
Boom.
come on.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
my-
he needs to, and Sony needs to release
Sony needs to print
Spider-Man movie every 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have to
Otherwise,
have
they
one.
they lose the license.
2024.
Yeah.
There's
So,
Morbius is
and
this year.
so
so-
I
if they need to print money, they-
They'll
sorry,
keep it.
Arnie. Arnie,
But
you're
you know what?
breaking up. Can you say that again?
Oh, I'm just saying, if they need to print money, they have to make Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield.
Dude,
I think that's not. I think that's the closest thing to reality because again,
Yeah.
Andrew wants it. Close the story. You have good bones
Mhm.
already. Close
You
out
can-
Andrew Garfield, and then
Close
you
out
know,
Andrew Garfield,
I
and
thought,
maybe
I thought like here in they were gonna end the movie with seeing them back in their world and him seeing his MJ or like an MJ
Mhm.
for Andrew Garfield. So
Oh,
maybe they'll do that in the
yeah.
third one. I can't wait for it.
It
I
would have been
thought so
Shailene
as well.
Woodley though.
Yeah,
it would've-
they did. It would have been Shailene Woodley in the
Uh,
original one, but now I don't like
yeah,
her, so maybe
the
change it
original
up.
one. Yeah.
and make it what's her name again? Still, Kristen.
Kristen Dunst.
No,
Kristen
that's
Dunst.
Toby. That's
no,
Toby.
No, exactly. So in Andrew's universe, he finally meets his MJ, and it's Kristen Dunst.
Oh.
This what?
Oh,
The age
okay.
won't line up though.
Oh, they won't.
Yeah, the age
yeah, that's
won't.
They
true,
can
that's
de-age
true.
her, but
Would've been
Well,
nice.
It's
But
gonna
yeah,
be more.
this is one of those things where I never thought I'd be excited because I hate multi stuff. I
Mhm.
don't. I want like a clean timeline.
It's
This is one of those
messy.
things. Whatever you do, if you do an Andrew Garfield one-off, if you do another Tobey Maguire one-off, that would be great, and that would elevate Venom 1 and Venom 2, which is admittedly
Mhm.
crappy.
I mean, this one is
right? And then
elevating
Morbius, which is
No Way Home is elevating Sam Raimi's trilogy in my.
and that has been the I think that's the beauty of the MCU is it's the beauty and a curse. You can never be a perfect movie on a standalone because you have to not only elevate previous movies and use elements from previous movies,
Mhm.
but set other movies up. So that's
Yeah.
always difficult for every movie.
No, yeah, but that argument, like we've discussed before,
Mm.
I don't think it's valid anymore because we have other movies for that. You know, if you want
Yep.
good, great one shots, we have other ones. This is
Yeah.
our continuing. This is our legacy's universe.
Yeah.
You know, the Marvel.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't use that anymore. It's like different. It's like pancake and oranges. You know, like if you want solid one shots, they're creating that. But for
Yeah.
good connections or storyline, like what we said with the TV shows, like you don't get those moments, like the Kingpin moment, the
Mhm. Yeah.
Daredevil moment, without
Mm.
history. You
The
know,
Justice League moment with Peacemaker.
yeah,
Dickheads.
Yeah.
that
So
seems
it-
amazing. But
yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, that's
so-
the idea of like this one was one of those things where you maximize history, you maximize setting up other, you maximize making an origin story for your character that did not have an origin story. Like instead of origin story at the beginning, it's an origin story at the end.
Mhm.
Everything just like all the ingredients was just like, wow, whoever thought about those, they
I
need to
know.
rate
I wanna
every single one. Like that's smart.
Yeah.
That's
You
so
know.
smart.
fuck it. I'm just gonna give it to Feige. Kevin Feige,
Mhm.
you trust?
Um,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. Let's go to the ratings.
Yeah, let's go to the ratings. Arnie, again, final thoughts about Spider-Man No Way Home, your favorite villain, your favorite Peter, a
Oh.
breakout star if you have any, and then of course close it out with who's going to be your MVP.
So okay, let's rate it first. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because I'm just a fanboy. Favorite villain is Willem Dafoe
Yeah,
because
great
that guy
guy.
is just MVP will be Jacob or what's his name?
Ned.
Ned,
Ned.
because he wow, I mean, just being able to pull off the meme and the sling, Salamanquero and all that. And what's the other one?
A favorite Peter.
Favorite
favorite
Peter.
Peter. Oh, Andrew.
Oh.
Like the I love you guys. And I always wanted brothers. I like, oh
Peter
shit.
3. Oh,
Peter 3.
I'm Peter.
Yeah, I
three.
love that part.
Peter 3.
Why am I Peter 3?
And then, that's amazing. What is that? The Avengers.
You don't
Oh,
have the
that-
Avengers? Oh my
Dude,
god,
is
that
that
was
a
so
band?
cool.
Are
No,
you in a band?
The scene with Tobey Maguire, telling him he's amazing. Like 2
Yeah.
layers, like
And then
You're amazing. No, you're
the
amazing.
and then the back cracking,
No,
like,
really.
oh yeah, my
Amazing
back,
Spider-Man.
my back, my back. Yeah. So yeah, those are the yeah. That's for me. Yeah.
and Tobey Maguire straight up owning that he murdered the guy.
Yeah.
That he killed the guy. Hey, he straight up owned it. Like I fucking killed the guy. I
Yeah.
killed Uncle
Yeah.
Ben.
They're comparing their favorite
Yeah.
villains.
Yeah.
I went to space. It's like, you went to space? I had a guy in a rhino suit.
I'm lame. All
Great.
right.
And your MVP.
MVP is well, I mean, I would say just Kevin Feige for pulling and
Yeah.
Amy
Oof,
Pascal for
nice.
pulling this off.
Good call.
seriously.
I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know with Amy Pascal. I mean, she
Oh,
is
Hey,
behind.
she's still a Sony guy. She's a Sony person. You
Yeah.
can't have this movie without Amy
Yeah.
Pascal.
I mean,
Jay, let's go to you. Same stuff.
Same stuff. Okay. One of my favorite storylines in terms of being emotional was that scene with May
mhm.
May and Peter on her last
Emotional
moments.
damage.
That was emotional damage. Yes, exactly. That was just gut wrenching there. Favorite character, I would say.
Favorite villain.
Favorite villain. William Dafoe. He's just bad, down to the bone, freaking horrible person, and that makes him so. He's so bad, he's good.
Mhm.
Supporting actor or supporting character, MJ. Why? Because I love how she faces against all these wizards and evil things, and she's just she does it with her flair, and I actually start to appreciate how pretty she is. I didn't before, but here she really became pretty. I appreciated it. Favorite Spider-Man. I'll still give it to Tom Holland. Actually, he played it well. He matured in his role here as Spider-Man. I agree with CHUBAX when he said from the previous ones, it was more like Spider-Boy. Welcome to manhood, Tom Holland. Well done. MVP, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, all three. They played it well. I loved it.
Arnie has
just
got to
love
go. Arnie has got to
dynamic.
go.
Want to say
Okay.
bye, Arnie, before we continue our discussion? Are you still there?
No, he
All right. Hey, Arnie bounced, but
Never
we can continue.
rating.
Rating, Jay?
Just a 10. You just have to watch it. I'm sorry. You have to watch it. It's a 10 for me. It's epic.
I'll go first so you can close out CHUBAX, at least on the rating part. My favorite, so overall, again, this is a complicated movie because it is an amazing movie in its own right. But to really appreciate the next level, you have to have a little bit more context, either, both in the Spider-Man universe, but also in the MCU. So it kind of
Mm.
works on all of those levels. Everybody's favorite villain is Willem Dafoe just to be different. I'm gonna say Doctor Strange because he fucked up the spell. Still very, very dangerous people. So, but in a nice way though. Uh, my favorite Peter here actually is still Tom Holland. Like I was very impressed how he carried the entire movie on his back and then was just elevated even more with both Toby and Andrew. Andrew, of course, there's just like a unfair sentimental value in that part. So will always be high there.
Mm.
Breakout star again. I want to shout out Grandma. Shout out Grandma because we don't get a lot of Filipino words in blockbuster hits a lot. So more of that. And same with Arnie. Like I was gonna call out just the entire team, like the team of MCU and Sony for pulling this off because this is very tough. This is a highly complicated thing to do. You want to pause while we fix our screens?
Yeah.
CHUBAX?
Oh, 1 second. Oh, wait. I have a quick fix for this. I don't have to keep doing stuff. There we go.
Boom, boom.
Just let me in so that it's still 4.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Cool.
So,
yeah, and I mean, yeah,
what's
that's
your
pretty much it. It's
rating?
all on you now.
What's your rating?
Your
Oh, so
rating.
my rating is a 9. It's the highest 9 that I could give. And again, this is the perfect word for it is excellent. The only reason why I can't call it like a masterpiece is again, it's reliant. It in order to reach the 10 heights, you have to reach that heights singularly by your own with no context, with no whatsoever. All of the things that made me pop in this movie was because of something else. The lines was from different movies. Having understanding the different Spider-Man too won't have as much of a hit if you don't know that these were actual real Spider-Man before. What if they had two other different Spider-Mans from two different multiverses? It would have been a largely different movie. But it's a technicality on my end. It's like I will never be able to make Endgame a number one a number one movie or a 10 movie because you need to watch Infinity War. It can't be just like by itself. So still it's just a technical, it's still just like one of
I agree.
a movie that you have
I'll
to put on your deck of
speak on
forever.
myself.
On you now.
Okay. Also me. So favorite villain, I will have to go with my personal favorite, Otto Octavius.
Oh no. Yeah,
So I'm just happy
it's
that
fine.
he got his due. He was able to become good as well. So that was amazing. Favorite Peter, I'll go with Tom Holland. I mean, he's the best one. Breakout star, I'm tied between Ned and MJ, but also
Mhm.
like Andrew was special also.
Yeah,
He made me
he's
feel things
so
that like I didn't think I would for him and his movie. So MVP, maybe May and Peter. Peter one and May.
Oh,
So that
May.
relationship was
Oh,
good. Uh
nice.
so for my rating,
May.
my rating will be a 0-1-0. It's a 10. It's a 10. And my comments is just like what you said, but in reverse. Like you said that you can give it a 10 because it has to stand alone on itself, but I say show me another Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's true.
See, like
Hmm.
I know it can't stand on itself, but that's the point. Like
Mhm.
it's not supposed to stand by itself. It is a continuation. Like Endgame is a 10 for me because how many emotions have you felt in that movie that you feel in another movie? Like,
Mm.
uh, what's funny with Endgame too, like, in this one, I did cry. Like in Endgame, the first time I watched it, I guess I was so overwhelmed that I didn't cry. But when I watched it the second time, like I knowing the story beats with the Black Widow, and like I was
Yeah.
crying. And here with the Aunt May and the scene with the three Peters, like damn. And even that's like I'm saying it's a 10, but it's not perfect. Like it's a masterpiece. Like what we said,
Mm,
like kind of funny too. It's not the
Oh,
10 is not
well,
a
our description is masterpiece. We
yeah.
never
So
said anything about
yeah,
perfect
so
too. So
there are
yeah.
some holes, but or not even my holes. You've kind of covered up a little bit, like
You can cover it up. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's not real holes, but yeah. I mean, what kind of movie makes you feel this way? Like after the movie, Lucas was crying because he was so sad for Peter. like, like, it's so
that's
sad.
right.
He's alone and he did everything. Like I mean, he did fuck up, but he's just trying to do right by his friends, not even for himself. Like everything he did, like for Strange, wasn't for
Mhm,
himself. It was because he felt guilty
mhm.
for dragging Ned and MJ with him. So yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. Like
Yeah. I just purchased it. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I'm gonna watch
We'll
it
watch it
tonight as
tonight.
well before I sleep. But yeah, that's it.
All right. This has been I think we've knocked this out of the park. I think two very
I
strong,
apologize for
amazing.
the internet. It's gonna be a little choppy in scenes, but nothing we can do with the rain.
Yeah, that's what that's the
It's
tech.
fine. Yeah.
And we thank our fourth chair in advance, Arnie. He had to bounce for a different appointment, but again, two amazing movies that everybody should make time a little bit to watch at their leisure if they can. A little bit of a reminder that next week, Pirates, The Last Royal Treasure, Korean movie out on Netflix. It's fun. Go watch it, discuss it with us. And of course, our main topic of the week next week will be the Batman by Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson. Final goodbyes. Before we do final goodbyes, again, housekeeping, youtube.com/plus 63HP is our channel. All of our shows are there. We have these review session on Tuesdays, D&D episodes on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays we come out with our reacts to cool new trailers that come out. Follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Handle is at +63HP. Learn about when these episodes are dropping and other cool stuff that we do. If you don't want to watch us, please subscribe to our podcast through your favorite podcasting app. We like Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Just grab your phone, listen to us in the background if you want. We still have our 2,000 plus subscriber giveaway. We are at 2,000 over a little over 2,100 subscribers now. That is insane, and we want to thank you by giving you a little bit of money in your pocket so you can watch more of these movies either on video on demand or in cinema safely. So please listen to our old episodes to figure out how to do that, but just leave a comment. That is the key. There's also the CHUBAX challenge, an extra $25 for you if you figure out how to play that game. Final goodbyes, Jay.
Truly enjoyed the two movies today. Wholeheartedly, I hope all you viewers enjoyed it as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts, which will also help you with the 2000 contest. So put your comments down on, and we'd love to interact with you guys. Thank you so much.
CHUBAX.
Even more amazing that we saw it in the theaters. Like, damn. But yeah, thank you for staying with us. That's
And
it from me.
again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for your participation, your subscription, and we look forward to working with you and hanging out with you even more. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.
Ciao.